clear it, and we don't clear it. And we have conceded the first goal. And who else other than Ismail Assar? Great. What a start to the day. Great. Great right there. Here we go. 1-0 Crystal Palace. This is the common nonsense goal we concede every game. Welcome to the watch along, guys. Oh, no! No, 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 no!
So slowly, and time can do so.
Oh my God! After everything we just concede from a throw-in!
Still mine, I need your love. I need your love. Godspeed to love to me.
It's a dream to have one clean sheet. That's it. I just want one clean sheet. If Alisson saves, I'm taking off my shirt and doing with tank top like the rest of the first half. Goal. See? Most basic one. You want Alisson to save a penalty? Hell will freeze before Alisson saves a penalty. No penalty.
My darling, I've hungered for your touch alone. Lonely time goes by so slowly, and time can do so.
Chelsea just scored the fucking winner. Chelsea just scored the fucking winner.
Still mine.
Chelsea just scored the winner. Chelsea just scored the winner with Reece James and Hato at the back. Chelsea just scored the winner with Reece James and Hato at the back. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great. Great. There you go. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff, you guys. Great stuff.
Welcome back to Straight Facts. And we know that Husam is hungering for the touch of a win after a dreadful week. Hit the like button, please. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. Turn on the bell notifications as well. Loads to talk about today. We're breaking down. I haven't really broken Liverpool down that much this week in full detail. We're going into the depths of depravity when it comes to Husam and some Liverpool fans. What's wrong with them? How can they fix it? Got some big questions for Husam as well. We're looking at the celebration police and why is this reared its ugly, fugly, vile head once again. We will be debating Arsenal's best chance of winning the Premier League. I saw this debate earlier on the brilliant Footy Jazz Mo's channel. I thought I'll bring it to the Football Terrace as well. So loads to go through today, loads to talk about as well. We've got that fraud Jamie Carragher to touch on too. But gentlemen, how are we both?
This is the first time in Straight Facts history I saw a whole intro dominated to the same person. Usually, you know, they mix it up, bring 2-3 fans. This is the one time where it's just one guy in Football Terrace history. You get me? But alhamdulillah, I've become that guy now. So like and subscribe, chat.
You're actually wrong, You're actually wrong.
No,
because it happened to me. Yeah, I had two.
Yeah, you had two. I will say this as well, by the way. If you boys ever want to make one for me, feel free to. I will play it. If anyone wants to make one about me, I will play it on the terrace. Like it's all good. It's just
the only difference.
I would. No, if you made it, if Man
United
not
play an intro about you on the terrace, that's a complete lie.
Well, it's not a lie. I actually featured myself on some before, but if I ranted after a game, because I don't do watch-alongs, but if I ranted after a game and you clipped it up and made a video like that of me, I'd play it. I'm making that's a promise. I'm making it now. But but the reason I use that song, honestly, I was watching your watch-along and I had music on in the background, and an Unchained Melody came on, and it was like, oh my God, this is, for me, it worked. So I spoke to my friend and I said, she records a song to me so you don't get copyright done. And I said, could you record Unchained Melody? And it was fluke, because she's like, I only just recorded one the other week for my YouTube channel. So she sent it through to me. So we had the song ready. It was by a quirk of fate. But yes, it was great. I love doing it. It was amazing. And look, there's loads to talk about today, loads to go through. But Mo, where do we start? Well, I want to start with Liverpool. I think we just got to get Liverpool out the way.
He doesn't want to start with Man United anymore. Look at this, Lou. You're such a fraud. Mo, how many times we tell him we don't want to start with Man United?
No, but you know why? You know why? Because
Why?
no one cares about Man United when they win.
Here we
I'm
go.
telling you the truth. I was listening to the Guardian podcast yesterday. Terry, you know Max, you know Barry Glendenning, you know Max Rushton, like the guys, the Guardian, that Wilson guy, and these guys, John Bruin. I'm sure you know John Bruin, the journalist for Man United for the Guardian as well. And literally, John Bruin is so. I like John Bruin. He's a journalist. And he was saying, they were asking him, and he's like, yeah, we won. That's why we are not trending, because we won the game. And he's like, because it doesn't mean a lot that we won against Sunderland, because it's not crisis anymore. No one is screaming, no one is yelling, no one is crying in the media. We won a game. And I get it. Man United, and it's not a dig. Man United winning against Sunderland is not the big news.
Well,
Man United losing to Sunderland would have made headlines.
Yeah. You know, I agree with, and this is how, but there isn't any news around Man United either. So there isn't really anything. Well, there is a few things to talk about if you want to talk about the fact.
No.
There was a whole, hang on, there's a whole thing done today by the BBC that our brand new training complex doesn't have a laundry. We can speak about the fact we don't have a laundry. We can speak about the lies that were printed. There have been some mistakes at academy level where somebody forgot some of the kit and they're trying to connect it to the unemployment, the jobs being reduced, only for them to print in the same article as trying, oh, they've made job cuts and now someone forgot to bring the kits to a game. It's like, well, we still employ more people than the average big six club. So that's the only stories around Man United this week. We want to start, but we're going to start with Liverpool. And how are you feeling now, Husam, 4 or 5 days on? Because you were very angry young man on Saturday. Are you still putting all of this down to Arne Slot and your system, or has your mind changed somewhat over the past couple of days?
My mind hasn't changed. I did a whole tactical breakdown yesterday for an hour and a half. I got the tactics board out. I explained everything in detail for an hour and a half. I gave all the examples. And I reached the conclusion, I think this is 80% on Arne Slot and 20% on the players, and I stick by it. Just quick rule of thumb for any team in history of football: when 10 outfield players look like shit, by definition, it's the manager that's at fault, because the style and the structure is just not working at this current moment in time. I think he has all the ingredients to fix it. But at the same time, I acknowledge the problem is, people just want black and white conversation. The truth of the matter is, I have acknowledged already that the highest score I would give any outfield player against Chelsea is 4 out of 10. That's the highest score. So I think there is 3-4 players who deserve zeros. I think there's players who deserve 2 out of 10. There's players who deserve 3 out of, like, most of the players were just shit. So I acknowledge that the players were shit. But at the same time, look, when I've got 10 outfield players who all look like crap, just literal rule of thumb in football, I've got to look at who's in charge of those players. And I think some people are actually letting Arne get away with it in terms of, look, he has all the ingredients he needs. It's not like there is something missing. Now people trying to act like this is missing, that's missing. No, nothing is missing. Categorically, emphatically, nothing is missing from Liverpool Football Club. It's just on him to get the correct players in the correct places and the correct positions, get that continuity by not tinkering a lot. I think Slot is moving a little bit like Ranieri from 30 years ago, the tinker man. I think he's changing way too much. He's putting combinations of players that don't work with each other. Players are running into each other on the pitch. There are massive gaping holes and spaces in midfield. You go back to the Caicedo goal. Yeah, it was a wonderful strike, but I've got to ask myself, why is Caicedo running 15 yards unmarked. The reason why Caicedo is running 15 yards unmarked is because there's a donut hole in midfield. Now, I think the people that are slot out are ridiculous.
I'll ask you a question on that real quickly. So we'll forget about it. But how is there a donut in midfield when McAllister was there? He could have dropped back, but he didn't. He went to press and he got beaten in the press. There wasn't a hole. McAllister pressed him and got bypassed. That's not a hole, is it? That's a player.
No, the hole was created by Slot's tactics because Slot wants us to play man-to-man, and Gravenberch was following Enzo all the way throughout. And because Gravenberch was following Enzo, Mo, you keep imagining noises, by the way. There's something with your headphones. Fix them. You imagined echo. You imagined the bagging table. Now you're imagining clicking noises. I don't hear it. Terry doesn't hear it, by the way. So fix your headphones. Maybe lower the volume or something. No one hears a clicking noise, I promise you. Anyway, as I was saying...
I can hear a clicking noise. I can hear it.
What clicking noise?
It's probably because we've got earphones in, and it's there is like a
it's professional YouTubers, Terry, versus an amateur YouTuber who still uses his laptop. You know,
I've got
I invest. So I go and invest in like good headphones. You know, I got a gift from my wife. Big up my wife. She got me a gift.
You invested in a good wife because your wife bought them.
Yeah, okay. So I invest in a good wife. It's great. By the way, it's a very fucking cancelable statement to say invest in a good wife.
No.
It's very fucking
invested in a good wife.
You guys, investing in relationships is not just money. It's time, it's energy, it's emotion.
He's reeling it back in. He's reeling it back in.
Bro, I want to invest my time, energy, money, everything into a good woman. I'm just trying to find her. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Anyway, but I hear clicking, to be honest with you, Husam. I don't know if it's a pen or a mouse or something, but anyway.
No one has a pen, nothing. Anyway, so as I was saying, you get me. So I think, look, the donut hole in midfield is created by Slot's tactics because of the man-to-man press, which we need to stop. And Gravenberch came out after Everton, when we beat Everton 2-1, and he was like, Slot is giving me the license to roam forward. I think that license needs to be ended immediately. Like, cancel that license directly. I think he needs to be in front of the defenders, just where he was last season, just so we can fix up. I think he has all the ingredients to cook. He just has to fix it, to be honest with you. This title race is Liverpool against Liverpool. And if we fix up, no one will stop us.
It's Liverpool against Liverpool. He's not giving credit, bro. The guy, I do shows with this man every day, right?
There we go.
His ego, bro, his ego is so big that he refuses to say that there is real competitions from the likes of Arsenal or City. He keeps saying it's all about us. You know, it's us. It's us. If we fix it, we'll win the league. Yeah, but I'm not saying, see, I didn't say only Arsenal. See, he's like, no credit to anybody else. It's all your fault. Chelsea didn't win the game. He said that, by the way, Terry. He said that. He said Chelsea won the game because we were bad. Not because Chelsea were good, because we were bad. We
lost the game.
He literally said verbatim on his match reaction, like and subscribe, don't Husam. If we played the way we were supposed to play, we would win 4-0 against Chelsea. I'm like, can you give credit to the opposition?
And Reece James at the back, you don't expect Liverpool to pepper them.
Give credit. Give credit to the opposition.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? When you won the Carabao Cup, did you say Liverpool won it or Chelsea lost it?
I actually said Chelsea lost it. Go and watch.
I'm asking because
actually, if you watch my watch along, I was giving a speech before the Van Dijk goal. I was like, guys, when Klopp started bringing on all the kids, I was like, guys, you get me. There's nothing we can do. We have all these injuries.
Great. So let me ask. Great. So let me ask you a question.
It doesn't matter. Blah blah.
That's fine. That's fine. Do you think Chelsea played good this game? They had a good plan. The players played good. Players like Badiashile and Achimpong stepped up.
Actually, like two things can't coexist. I do think Chelsea played good. The problem is Liverpool played horrendous. That's why we lost.
But can it be because they actually had a good counter plan to you? But I'm asking the question. Don't you think because Chelsea had a good
class? That's why we lost the game.
Not a Maresca masterclass.
No, it wasn't a Maresca masterclass because he played the only possible team out there. Like there were no other options. He has all those injuries. Achimpong and Reece James were the centre-back partnership, and you're mad because I said Liverpool lost that game because of how
Don't be
shit we were.
binary, by the way, in analyzing games. Don't be binary.
No, I'm not being binary at all. I just said Chelsea deserved to win. I said Chelsea were the better side.
Number one.
When you ask me why did we lose the game, I'll say a slot disaster class more than a Maresca masterclass. It's not like Maresca implemented something out of the blue. Maresca played his usual formation.
No, he did. By the way, now he did. He did. I'm gonna give you. He did implement something out of the blue. Number one, Malo Gusto playing in the middle, in the pockets, is literally proved to be very good. He pushing Caicedo in the pockets as well, and actually doing the exchanging positions between his players is actually a different plan than he normally does. Him putting actually Cucurella to be high on the pitch like this, which everyone would say, if you're drawing to the champions in the 95th minute, be a little bit more defensive or cautious. He wasn't cautious in the last 5-10 minutes. He's pushing for the win. That is by his tactical thing, by his approach to the game. Anybody playing against Liverpool in the last 5-10 minutes, if you have Ikitiki, if you have
nothing
still Salah,
so far is tactical, by the way. Nothing.
it's very tactical.
You're
Malo
giving
Gusto
Kumbaya speeches.
Malo Gusto playing in the middle is tactical.
Okay, what else?
Cucurella at the end. Cucurella at the end. Going forward, that is tactical. That's tactical for him. Him playing between the lines is tactical. Yeah. He's so strange.
Left back overlapping is tactical. Fuck my life.
By the way, he's not. He
But it
didn't
is though,
overlap.
isn't
But
it? That is a tactic.
By the way, it
Overlapping,
didn't
underlapping, inverting.
We are clutching at straws, chat.
Hang on a minute. Listen, I'm not really involved in the debate, but let me ask you, are you saying that underlapping, overlapping, inverting are not football tactics, Sam?
These are basics of football that every team does.
Are you
Conor
saying
Bradley underlapped. Kirk is overlapped.
Are you saying that they're not tactics?
Look, we're going down a rabbit hole.
No, we're not.
I'm saying the reason why the game ended
you're embarrassing yourself. That's what you're doing.
Because the Liverpool manager had a disaster class more than the Chelsea manager having a master class. And it's because the Liverpool players did not perform more than the Chelsea players were amazing. And that's it. It's very basic logic.
So Caicedo shooting from 25 yards, top corner is not amazing.
He just told me don't be binary, right? Caicedo
Right.
shooting from 25 yards. Okay, let's look at the root cause of that goal. Why did Caicedo have 20 yards to run empty?
Because he played between the lines.
McAllister pressed when he shouldn't have pressed, when he should have sat. That's the biggest reason.
Yeah.
Do you know
So
why?
shall I bring up the still image? Shall I bring up the still image?
We're going to talk about it again? You want to talk about it again?
Yeah, but Terry doesn't know my opinion. You know it. Terry
I don't know. Bring it up. I'm interested. I want to know.
I'll bring it up right now. No problem. You want to do this? You want to play this game? I will play this game.
I don't want to play a game. I want to have a conversation.
Yeah. And I am having a conversation because you guys act like, bro, I literally broke it down for a whole hour and a half yesterday. So I know.
It doesn't mean you're right. By the way, you spending an hour and a half doesn't mean you're right.
I watch a lot of your content, but I didn't watch that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. I'm not asking you to watch all my content.
There's also a little bit of Van Dijk in that. You know, Van Dijk, are you going to feature Van Dijk? You know, when Van Dijk was sort of like doing that. Do you remember? Is that in your analysis?
Well, Terry, you're losing subscribers, Terry, because no one wants to see you shake your ass. Share
I
screen.
don't lose subscribers. I grow annually by 35%. I'm just putting that out there.
Can you share the screen, please, Mr. Grow annually? Share the screen.
There you go.
Okay. Now, I wish I could show you where the like I can show my mouse. Draw a whole circle around Anthony Taylor.
We can see your mouse.
Okay, let me more. You have to let me talk because it's still image. There is no point. I will literally just speak for 5 hours after. Just let me tell you what happens wrong over here. Okay. So
don't be upset. I just told you we can see your mouse.
There is a hole around Anthony Taylor. Yes. That hole exists because Gravenberg, my DM. So okay, Mo, just to confirm, you can see the mouse, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Gravenberg, my DM, instead of being in this position where he's supposed to be, where he was all last season, now has the license to roam forward. So he is completely unnecessary pressing Enzo Fernandez over there, which therefore creates the space. Now we're talking about Caicedo having a fantastic strike, which it was. It was an absolutely unbelievable goal. My issue is McAllister is here, right? No problem. He gets past McAllister. The space, that space where Caicedo is in, all the way until Van Dijk, that empty space has been something that's reoccurring in Liverpool games. This is not a new thing. And that's because of Gravenberg license to roam forward. If Gravenberg is where he was last season, which is right next to McAllister, right next to Anthony Taylor, the goal doesn't even happen because he's there to cover it. But instead, we are completely needlessly pressing Enzo Fernandez. Now, just to avoid copyright here, let me just move the clip further forward. Now, there is no way Caicedo can run from that area. Fantastic turn on McAllister. I never denied that. From that area to where Joao Pedro is, completely unmarked. Look at Gravenberg's body motion. The way that he's rushing to get back is because of that donut hole we've created in midfield.
Okay.
It's because of that space we've created in
I
midfield,
get
which
that.
has become the biggest problem.
So I get that. Let me just say one thing though, right? So if you, because I've got the goal up in front of me as well, I understand that you don't like that Gravenberg's got that room to roam forward.
Yeah,
That's a fair point. But there is also an element, and this gets discussed a lot with United. Oh, you're getting outnumbered in midfield. Yes, when a centre back doesn't move up into the midfield like they're instructed to do, we're outnumbered. And in the games where our midfield are not stepping up into that position, we're then getting exploited. So you can blame the tactic, you can blame the player, you can do what I do, which is look at both. In that situation, McAllister makes the mistake. McAllister, what he should do, he's got two players ahead of him, one to the left and he's got one to the right. Whether you watch football your whole life, I've been playing a lot of FIFA recently, and I made this mistake a lot on Legendary, right? If you run at one player like he did, he runs towards not Caicedo, whoever was next to him, I think it was Enzo, runs towards him, and then he's easy to bypass with a 1-2 because he's now stepped forward. If in that moment when they've got the ball ahead of him, if he just takes 2 or 3 steps back, that space is gone. He makes a decision, an individual decision to press at the wrong time, and he gets passed around. Then the space is exploited for 2 reasons. One, half of it's tactical because Gravenberg has gone forward, like you've said. The second reason is because he's pressed. Why am I talking about this? At Manchester United, I mentioned it already, but we'll take a United player that everyone always goes in on, Bruno. If you actually look at Bruno's numbers as a midfielder this year, when it comes to progressing the ball, passing, carrying, it's not too dissimilar from the Enzos, the Declan Rices of this world. His problem is he presses at the wrong time and leaves massive holes behind him. That isn't a tactical issue. It's a player issue. Now, Bruno shouldn't be played in that position because it's not what he's best at. But McAllister and the like are playing in their natural positions. So it isn't a case of the manager's wrong for putting them there. They've made mistakes. And I just feel that when it's come to the Liverpool analysis in the last week, I get that you've now said 80% manager, 20% players. But there are players this season in your team and system. For instance, like Ekitike, who's only just joined the football club, Alisson. I actually think Van Dijk has been pretty good this year, who are playing very, very well indeed. I think something that's going under the radar a little bit is that, and there's reasons for this with Isak as an example. There's reasons for it with Wirtz joining, but Konate is playing like an absolute joke as an example. I don't think McAllister's been anywhere near his highest levels. Kirkes, I think, has been awful considering he's had a pre-season and he's played in England. It's not the same type of excuses and reasonings you would give for an Isak or a Wirtz. I think some of the players are getting a little bit of an easy ride and are getting a little bit are not being criticized like they should be, and it's all going on the manager because
who though, tell me, because I've already criticized players. You said what you do. You said what Eric Tours does is criticize manager and players. Okay, that's what I've done as well. So what's the problem here?
Well, because I think the balance that you've put on it is too heavily weighted in the direction of your manager. Personally,
okay.
I think
do you watch MasterChef? Have you ever watched MasterChef?
I've watched a few episodes, yes.
Okay. When they do mystery box challenges, if a chef gets prime rib, lobster, Alaskan king crab, and cooks up a shit dish versus a chef gets canned sardines and makes a 5-star meal, there is a difference in that. Meaning, if I've given someone the difference, and there is extra bits to blame on Slot compared to Man United. Why? Because we have all the prime ingredients. I've got Alaskan king crab, red lobster, T-bone steak, prime rib, Wagyu beef. I got everything I need. Even my chicken is like elite level. So there is nothing missing in the mystery box. There's nothing missing from the pantry. I have everything I need. Now, that's why Slot, for example, let's say this was Ruben Amorim's Man United, right? And the same scenario happens. You might say 60% Amorim, 40% player. Fair. But the reason why I've got to increase it on Slot is because I've got all these prime ingredients that aren't working with each other. Wirtz was dropped, we still look like shit. Salah was dropped, we still look like shit. Isak was dropped, we still look like shit. So now I've got to ask myself the hard thing question. How is it I've dropped every single problem in this team and I look like ass in every single scenario? So now what?
Well, because a few things. Firstly, there's no one player that's the problem. This is just anyone who's saying that's an idiot. I'm not saying it. On your analogy, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. If somebody's got amazing ingredients, the best ingredients, and somebody's literally got a potato and an egg, they're going to be expecting a lot more from the person with great ingredients.
Thank you.
But yes, however, there's a caveat to this. If they're giving that guy a lobster and a chicken that are off and it tastes like shit, what can the chef do? You've got players that are off the boil right now. And I understand we go through these periods where everything's put on the manager. But you know what I find really interesting? And the pundits do this and they don't realize how big a hypocrites they look. One of the biggest ones out there is Roy Keane. He often goes on about, I didn't need a manager to motivate me. I didn't need a manager to make sure that I was motivated to go out there and play. The manager didn't make me perform, as in they didn't make me have good form or bad form. That was about my own individual application, how I handled the pressure, etc. And I think sometimes we spend too much time looking at a manager. Now, I get it if the managers come in like Amarim and there's been zero improvement in the better part of 12 months. I get he's a problem in there. At the same time, even this weekend just gone, we won 2-0. We had 3 or 4 chances in the second half, simple through balls. We're through on goal, could have made it 3 or 4 or 5. We didn't do it. I don't blame Amarim for those individual mistakes. That was players rushing and panicking and not handling the pressure. So from my point of view and perspective, I think Slot is getting...
And guess what? Have I went in on Amarim like that? Have I been one of those fans that come on Straight Facts and go in on Amarim like crazy? Or have I called out players and Ineos?
Then I would expect
my energy is consistent even for my biggest rival. My energy is the same exact one actually as yours.
Well, I'm not necessarily...
No, because...
Okay, well, I didn't finish, but go on.
Here's the thing. Yesterday, I said, if anyone is slot out, get fucked. You should not be slot out. No one should be slot out. Everyone should give Arne Slot the time to figure this out. But at the same time, I can constructively criticize him. So what you did for your own club, I'm doing for my own club. But the reason why Arne Slot is more game than Amarim is he has everything he needs. That's it.
So I'm not saying that you and you're second in the league. So again, there's a huge difference there. I'm not saying you shouldn't criticize him because I've criticized Arne Slot for things that he's got wrong. I'm just talking here more in generals as well, that there seems to be a lot of people just, the manager's got to get it right. The manager's got to get it right. But if individual players were doing their jobs, there's 2 or 3 games recently where if Mo Salah converts fairly good chances, you win games. Just the other day, Salah hasn't been great, but that pass on the outside of his foot to Alexander Isak, I expect Isak to at least hit the target. He didn't do his job there as an example. Right. There are moments. The Galatasaray game, it was 1-0. You work the ball into the box. Your first shot saves. Ekitike should score. Gakpo tries to knee it like he's Alex Pereira when he should control it. It then falls to Wirtz. And again, I ain't blaming Arne Slot for Wirtz trying to weird back heel when nobody was behind him. I'm not blaming Slot when Wirtz picks a ball up in the box against Chelsea, but he controls it with his shin and it rolls away from him. I don't blame managers for that. I'm not saying you are. I'm not making that claim. I just think far too much has gone towards the manager. And I think that 80%.
Okay, can I just make a quick distinction here? Everything that you're saying, I'm in complete agreement with. It's not Slot's fault that Wirtz backheeled it in the box. All this, you're completely correct. My issue here is volume. I said this to Mo pre-game. Mo was like, Husam said he'd take a 1-0 loss away at Chelsea. But he left out everything I said after that, which is the context. Now, let's go back to that game. Let's say we lost 1-0 to Chelsea, but Liverpool peppered Chelsea's net with Achimpong and Reece James. Sanchez made 3 amazing saves. Do you genuinely believe, having known me for 3 years, that I would sit here and blame Slot? Of course not. If we dominated them, we dominated possession, we created the more dangerous chances. By the way, prime example, Atletico Madrid match reaction. Remember when some fans tried to claim that it was a lucky win? I was like, guys, we had 7 big chances created. We had 7 big chances created compared to Atletico's 1. Dominant performance. So my issue has actually been performances more than results from the beginning of the season.
You created the better chances.
No, we did not.
Okay, let me
Enzo, by the way, hit the post at the end even before Estevao won it.
Let me count. Kirkez crossed the ball to Mohamed Salah. He has a tap in. He doesn't. Sabozla, instead of hitting the player in front of him in the 6-yard, right? It's like that is a block, yes, by Chelsea. But that is normally should actually hit the target.
That's not a clear-cut chance. Now you're clutching.
Sabozlai was clear-cut. Are you mad?
No, Sabozlai was not a clear-cut chance. I know the clear-cut chance.
The cut. Sabozlai
the Kirkes one you said is a clear-cut chance. Correct? Because all Kirkes has to do is make the correct pass. So you're correct.
So hold on. So Sabozlai inside the 18 free to shoot to when the guy in front of him.
He was not free because Caicedo was in front of him and he blocked it.
So that is a clear-cut chance.
That is not a
100%.
clear-cut chance. That's not a clear-cut chance. If I'm here and Caicedo's at the TV and I shoot, that's not a clear-cut chance. That's a
I don't see.
total
I don't see the TV, so I don't know.
The TV is here, like a meter in front of me, yani. 2 meter and a half.
Are you
front.
serious? A meter in front of him? That was supposed. I should have hit.
I know the
target
moment
better.
you're talking about when Gakpo cut it in and Soboslai was
Yeah.
running. Yes, Caicedo was in front of him, literally. That's not a clear-cut chance. The clear-cut chances is that moment, the Isak header, and the Salah chance from Wirtz. Those are the clear-cut chances.
Are you serious? That is. I absolutely think
How many
that
times was
was a clear-cut
Garnacho in our
chance.
penalty box? How many times was
That's not a
Garnacho?
clear-cut chance. That's not a clear-cut chance. The ball
Garnacho
cut
was
back.
literally
Nah,
running at
Anyway,
empty
my
space.
point. Okay, it doesn't matter. We're not going to argue over. It's a clear cut. It's a chance. My point about this is that I think currently what you're doing is that you are a little bit letting some of the top players that you have off the hook. I get what Slot. Probably the system is not working, but you are getting chances sometimes. Mohamed Salah is putting the chance on Isak's head. That is a chance. Mohamed Salah shooting away from goal, which normally last season he would have put on target at least 1 or 2 of them. For one reason or the other, Mohamed Salah is from dropped. Right? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Is it grief? Is it Mohamed Salah is not getting the same amount of touches? You can analyze that. Isak, I'll give him leeway a little bit. However, when you sign a player like that much, he should be doing better than this. He shouldn't be getting one chance. But I said it before, he's not having any support from his teammates. Wirtz, you didn't sign Wirtz and spend that much money for him to backheel it to Salah in the first 10 seconds. I told you that yesterday, that to backheel it to Mohamed Salah in the first 10 seconds and completely disappear after this. McAllister is not performing. Gravenberch is the only one. By the way, I'm just going to say something. I know people make fun of Van Dijk and everything. That goal, maybe 20% on Van Dijk. If he steps up to Van Dijk, Caicedo has a clear pass one-on-one to Malo Gusto, who is running the 18. If you watch the clip, not the still image, literally he was watching for that run from Malo Gusto. Arne Slot, right, is not doing well. But Liverpool fans lately have been trying so much to protect some of the players that you're not actually calling out some of the scene. You need to actually say that Salah needs to step up a little bit. He needs to lead the team. Isak, by the way, is a senior player. He has 3 years in the Premier League. He's 25 years old or 26 years old or something like this. He was a big money signing. He's not 21. And he needs to step up. McAllister needs to step up a little bit. You, on your match reactions, always say, why McAllister is shit today? Okay, that happened 1 game, 2 games, 3 games. And then 1 game you were like, yeah, he's okay. He's not the worst guy on the pitch. He's okay. Now again, it's Chelsea. He was like, he wasn't the worst guy, but he wasn't great at all. I think some of the... to be honest with you guys, I think yes, Arne Slot criticism.
You're okay. Don't lie. When you say I'm letting them get away with the hook, even yesterday, what did I say to you? The only 2 players who should be guaranteed starters in this team is Van Dijk and Gravenberch. Anyone else, drop, rotate, change. I don't care. You want to drop Salah, drop him. You want to drop Wirtz, drop him. You want to drop Isak, drop any
you're
single
gonna play. Your
player.
squad is not that deep. Your squad is not that
You're
deep.
missing the point. So when you say I'm letting the players get away with it, I'm not. I have criticized the players. Thank you. By the way, people in the chat who don't even support Liverpool are actually vouching for me. I have criticized a lot of the players. I've said some players were shit. I've said, Muhammad, please, what are you doing? Like I've cussed players out on the football pitch. I've done that already. Whichever one you want to drop. Like I've even called out Salah, I've called out Wirtz, Isak, everyone. There is no one that I have not called out. Literally not a single person. You want to play Rio Gomoa and Chiesa as the wingers, play them. You want to play Kitika up top, play him. I don't care who we drop. I'm talking from a structural and a style perspective. If that does not change, nothing will change. We will continue to lose games of football. And I have a actual genuine proof, which is Galatasaray, Salah dropped, we look like shit. Chelsea, Wirtz dropped, we look like shit. Isak didn't play in one of the games, we look like it's not one guy's fault. It's not a simple let's drop this guy because this guy's underperforming.
No one said that. I never said that.
So it's moments though.
You have to find a concoction of players that work.
I understand that, and there are, and this is why the balance is there. But it's also football is about moments, and I think for the past 5-6 years, that's kind of a bit like the celebration stuff we'll get onto later. People have tried to eradicate that from the game as being unimportant. They don't want moments. They want a dominant team. And you get these dominant teams, once in a blue moon across the history of European football, do you get a team that's just can dominate everybody. It rarely happens. And especially when you're in a hyper competitive league. There was a few years in England where Klopp and City, Klopp's Liverpool and Pep City were able to sort of do that. And that's actually one of the reasons they did it. Yes, is because they're fantastic. The other reason they did it is because the Man Utds, the Chelseas, the Arsenals were all off the boil at that time as well. Had they all been very good teams, that dominance, just on a level of perspective, wouldn't have felt so tall. You know, if you're 6 foot tall, but you're standing around people that are all 4 foot, you look a lot taller than if you're standing next to people that are 5'11", right? Perspective. So there is that element to it. But the reason Liverpool fans got angry, like yourself, it isn't just 3 losses. It's the, you're saying, I thought we were good against Atletico, etc., etc., etc. It's that knock-on effect, though. If you felt you were really good in those games, or the much better team in those games, I'm not sure if the last 3 games would have made you as angry, just as a passing thought. But moments matter. So against Galatasaray, I don't remember whether that chance for Ekitike was at 1-0 down or at 0-0. I'm not too sure. But you, in that first half, broke through that, like, pretty high line. You guys broke through it. If I say 5 times, I'm probably being conservative there. It was probably nearer 7 or 8, but you didn't capitalize. And your Liverpool's best teams in the last 5-6 years, where you've been brilliant is that your conversion rate of chances and your conversion rate of opportunities into chances has been high. This season, the amount of times you've had the opportunity to kill a game, get back into a game, score that goal that just takes it away. Everton was a great example. Dominated the first half, play on the counter in the second. There was all those chances Mo Salah was missing. Wirtz would have got his assist in that game, would have taken the game away from Everton. In the end, it feels like you're hanging on because you didn't take your moment. So I do feel there's this element of systematic area. I agree. But I look at it in the same way that I look at Arsenal in the last couple of games. Think of everything we're saying about them, and it's all deserved. Newcastle, they deserve the win. West Ham, they deserve their win. Can you imagine if they don't score that last-minute header? And can you imagine if the penalty doesn't come? That 1-1 and that 1-0 draw creates a completely different picture to people, because moments in football change things. At the end of the day, as good as sometimes you can play brilliantly, but a moment changes everything. And I feel that what the players haven't been good enough at this year is having those moments, scoring those goals, converting those chances, which Liverpool have been so fantastic at doing. And I just think, and this may not necessarily be aimed directly at you, Husam, I think there's an element of Liverpool fans are sort of forgetting that around the managers making the players bad. No, I just think some of them aren't on it. And look, there's all the stuff about Jota. Maybe that's playing a part. There's also the element, and this is what I don't think is getting enough airtime, is when you've won a league title, I don't think people understand how hard it is to remotivate yourself to go again and retain it. It's such, if you actually look through the history of English football and look at how many teams have retained a title, I'm going to get this number slightly wrong, but in 150 years, I think it's only been done between 15 to 20 times. It is a rarity that a team retains its title. And there has to be something in that.
Probably even less.
Maybe even less than that. Like, it doesn't happen a lot. So I think there's multiple layers to this with Liverpool. I suppose the question is, and I go to Mo first on this, how do Liverpool turn this around? They've got Man United their first game back, which it can either be the 7-0 again, or it can be a result that makes them even angrier. How do they fix it? And do you think they will against Man United?
Go back to the basics. Just play simple, basic football. I actually think, Terry, the problem is he's overcomplicating things. I think on his slot, his head got bigger, like, for himself. You know, when a manager takes his word literally. So he took a dig at Arteta, if I'm not mistaken, about the attack in football. And we play so much attack in football. We always go to games. People play differently. And he's talking about other teams' set pieces and stuff like this. And I think he took his words and he's like trying to overcook. He's over seasoning, you know, put too much salt on it. He's literally pressing with like 7 players. His fullbacks are so attacking sometimes. And I'm like, bro, sometimes you got to stick to the basics. Your midfield is wide open. Bournemouth cut through you. Newcastle cut through you. Galatasaray cut through you. Chelsea cut through you. Bro, just go back to the basics. Don't take... I think he got arrogant. I genuinely believe that. Tactically, he got arrogant, cocky, and he thinks he's better than this, a little bit cautious approach, and he's listening to the media about Arteta being cautious about this, about that. And he's like, oh, I'm going to attack from minute one. I'm going to push my team forward. I'm going to commit players. You know, we're so good. We got so many weapons that he forgot that there's sometimes the opposition is still playing on the pitch. And I think the wins, that last minute goals actually got his hit bigger as well. He's like, we're going to win it anyway. We have so many clutch players. He didn't realize that sometimes your clutch players are not going to bail you out. And I think that, to be honest with you, Terry, I'm going to make the sweeping statement again, and people are going to come for me. And I know that I do this on YouTube all the time. I don't see a world where Man United actually win against Liverpool in this game. I said that for Chelsea, and I still think rightfully so that I said that, but Chelsea proved me wrong. Man United can prove me wrong, but you're not going to tell me that Man United are going to go to Anfield and actually get something out of that game, right? Unless Liverpool are horrific or Man United are excellent on the day. I don't see both being true, right? But he needs to stick to the basics.
Chat, you notice how I got gaslit like crazy, by the way? Big up, chat. You get me? Mo's first statement that he was speaking is, I think Slot is overcomplicating stuff. Why didn't you start with the players not performing?
What does that mean?
Because he's already spoken about that.
So his first why isn't your first statement Salah should score and Isak should score and Wirtz should create? That's not your first statement. Your first statement is Slot is overcomplicating stuff. Hence proving my point that I've been gaslit for the last hour because you're a bum and you're a fraud, you and Terry. You're both.
No, hold on, Terry. No. I got to respond. Terry. I'm sorry, Terry.
I didn't say it. Don't lump me in with that. I didn't say it.
Doesn't matter. Here's the difference, guys, between me and Husam. He thinks he's like, I gotcha moment. He's like, he's doing his own thing. I'm not rattled at all. I literally blamed Slot. That the difference between me and you is that I don't think it's 95% on Slot and 5% of the players.
95%, don't lie.
That's what you're insinuating. You're insinuating. 80 is too much as well. I think it's 50-60% on Islam. I think it's 50-60% on him, and then the 40% on the players that they need to step up in the moments that Terry spoken about. If Salah, by the way, if Isak puts that on target against Chelsea, you're not sitting here crying like a little baby trying to prove everyone
I
wrong
am, because
and
I
yourself right.
Guarantees we win the game.
Really?
That doesn't
guarantee I never said that, but you're not
based
sitting
on the way
here
that
crying.
we performed. I can't guarantee if Isak scores, we don't win the game.
If Kirkes crosses that ball to Mohamed Salah, you would come here and say, Arne Slot tactical masterclass. Kirkes doing the overlap thing, and listen, he exploited Chelsea fullbacks. Bro,
the only game where I said that,
you know the difference? When you were yelling and screaming, I didn't interrupt you to get it. You get it out of your system.
I'm not yelling and screaming.
Are you going to yell again?
You lied 3 times in a row, got shut down every time.
Why are you yelling and telling people to lie?
I'm not yelling. You lied 3 times. I'm completely calm. You lied.
Are you done? You finished, or should I mute my mic, or are you gonna talk?
You could see the vein over here pop. When you see Mo's vein this side pop, you know his head.
Every time I speak and he interrupts me, I know that I'm winning the argument because you interrupted me.
No, I interrupt you if you lie only.
Well, I'll just say very quickly, I want to go back to what Mo was talking about. I mean, you should have waited for Mo to finish, because if you never mentioned the players, you'd have got him. The problem is you have no idea what he was about to say. He may have gone and said, but even more importantly than that is his players have got to step up. You never let him. You've got to let him finish, then cook. You basically took it out of the oven too early, and the cake sunk. You went too early there, Sam.
And then Mo, go too early. Even the chat are backing me. So
the chat are just there to rattle everybody. Mo, what are you saying?
No, I just say, like, to be honest with you, he needs to go back to basics to get the best out of his players. To be honest, that's all I was about to say. I'm not gonna, like, the players. Some of them are gonna underperform. Some of them are gonna overperform. That is expected. But because the players are not performing well, he needs to go back to basics. It's very simple, by the way. If your players are not performing as well, are not helping you in the game, you go back to basics. I was playing football yesterday, and because one of our fullbacks, and I'm being serious, one of our fullbacks was actually making a lot of mistakes. At halftime, we told the guy, just go back to the basics. Don't try to overcomplicate things. Don't try to play it in the channels long because it's not getting for you. That is coaching and the players. If honestly, go back to the basics and not complicate things, the players are actually not being asked to do too many things as well. And the players maybe are not up to the task. Like, if you ask don't ask Fritz to do like too many things. Maybe he's not up to the task now. Maybe Gravenberch needs a little bit of help. Maybe McAllister is not up to perform. It may be on McAllister sometimes, but also Arne Slot need to help him with this as well. You need to help your players.
I hear where you're coming from. There's do some of these comments that have come in. There's quite a lot of them. This from Zane says, Terry, exactly in the first 3 games, Liverpool were not playing the best and took the chances and made the moments. Once the moments dried up, the system flaws became very evident. Hence, major blame is on Slot. I think it's a really good point. Again, I don't even feel like you were that bad against Bournemouth. You just got caught with a couple of counter attacks. You were the dominant side in that game, and you saw it through. Who were your second and third games against?
Newcastle second game, third game Arsenal.
Yeah, Newcastle game again, and this is why I look at it this way. Newcastle game, Newcastle were brilliant. I find it hard to assess that game though because of the emotion surrounding it, but Liverpool still got it done. The Arsenal game was the two best teams in England, and I stand by what I said after that match. Go back and watch the reaction. This is what happens when you get very, very good teams. And I feel like we're going back to an old era where teams are more pragmatic against each other in those big moments. You then play Burnley, and Burnley did to you what they've done to quite a few teams. Look, even City that smashed them 4 or 5 goals. If you actually watch Burnley City, it weren't like that. They made it really hard for them as an example. So, look, I think there's been a bit of an exaggeration when it comes to Liverpool. And I think that exaggeration is because we all, including me, saw the signings and went, no one's getting anywhere near them. So we almost created this illusion in our minds that every game was going to almost be easy for Liverpool. And that hasn't quite happened because this is professional football. I still think they're going to be okay. I do think some adjustments are needed by the manager, but I also think Wirtz, Isak, Salah, to name just 3, they've got to improve their game, their first touch, their second touch, their chance creation, their finishing. If all of those things start to improve just by 10% from each of those players, there'll be a fundamental difference in result. And as Man United have proven recently, most football fans talk about performance. They don't really give a shit. They care about results.
Can I ask you something, Terry, for real about this? You know, last season with the Odegaard situation and Foden and other players as well at Man City, when the players don't perform well, especially the high caliber players, the players that are valued highly, like Cole Palmer, like Saka, like Odegaard, don't you think that these players need to step up and elevate above sometimes the system and the manager? Like these players should actually overperform even if the system is not good.
No, I listen, I totally agree. And I think there's a balance in these conversations as always, but as a point, yes. And one of the things this season I've been disappointed in with my own clubs, just to keep the energy real, is Mbeumo scored some goals and got an assist. But I think he's had 5 or 6 really good opportunities to score a couple of good goals where he's cutting onto his left foot and curled it to the far post. Hasn't scored one yet. I would have expected him to have scored 1 in 7. Cunha did have the injury, but I expected Cunha to drop his shoulder at the edge of the box and bang one into the top corner or bottom corner by now, as an example. Benjamin Šeško, I'll give a little bit of leeway because he only started the last 2 games, but I'm still waiting to see him get that ball down, get half a yard of space and thunder it into the goal because he's got a good track record of that. Bruno nearly scored one of those goals against Sunderland. It was saved, but he hasn't done it enough yet. I expect players at top clubs to score goals from nothing, whether it be a long range effort, whether it's someone that's a good dribbler, dribbling past a few players. I do expect these moments of individual brilliance regularly from clubs like Liverpool, clubs like City, clubs like Arsenal that have squads full of players that are individually brilliant. I expect individual brilliance. I think we've lost this in football and it's almost become like a dirty word. Oh, individual brilliance over a system. Yes, at the highest level, at the highest level, sometimes, I'm a fight fan. You can have 2 very technically gifted fighters, but MMA, both great at taking down or defending takedowns, both got excellent punching technique, good defense, hard to hit. But you know what? If one of them's we saw it at the weekend, Akalaya versus Pereira. First fight, I like both fighters actually. There's who talk that Pereira was scared. He wasn't. He was very sick for the fight. Comes back into this fight 100%, just lands with all his might, a hard punch. And the man can't stand with him. That is a moment of brilliance that you can't coach and you can't teach. It's just his natural power. I expect that from footballers. So, and that doesn't mean you say don't care about a system, don't care about a structure. The biggest issue for Liverpool isn't their attacking element. Actually, it's the holes they leave when they're attacking. That Slot has got to fix. But Of course, there's got to be an expectation on these stars. And you guys know how much I praise Mo Salah, so I don't need to say that again. For a player of his level, who's now being paid what he's being paid, he's been nowhere near good enough, and he has to have pressure put upon him. He just does. He can't get away with it. No one else of his level would ever get away with it. So Mo shouldn't. You can't be in Premier League GOAT conversations and then given a free ride. I think the expectation on him should be higher than every other player in that squad. Every other player.
Thierry Henry at Mo's age was playing for New York Red Bulls.
Yes, yeah, okay, he did. Hang on a minute. He did, okay, and that will go into the conversations and the debates around who the greatest is, because I think longevity plays a part. I'm not taking my.
I thought that Mo's age is playing with chunks.
Please let me finish, guys. Sorry, Mo, please let me finish.
No, I'm not.
But that's why the expectations are still there. He's just been given a new contract at one of the biggest clubs, the biggest contract in the history of your club, which is one of the biggest clubs in the world, playing in the hardest league in the world. Yes, he's ahead of Thierry Henry in terms of his playing at the highest level at this age. I'm not denying that. But therefore, the expectation is on him to deliver. You can't say it's okay for Mo Salah to not be very good today because Henry at his age was playing in America. That doesn't even make any sense.
Actually, Henry at his age was retired.
Henry, anything?
Henry,
yeah.
Same age where Henry was at New York Red Bulls.
How many years?
Playmaker and Golden Boot.
How many years was Steven Gerrard out the Prem when Scholes, at the same age that Scholes was winning Premier Leagues at 38, 39? About 4 or 5 years out? Cool.
You're talking about winning. I never mentioned winning. I said playmaker
and performing. Just putting that out there. Yeah.
See, same energy, individual. Never look at team success, unlike you.
No, you've always got to look at team success.
I don't give a fuck about team success with comparing individuals. I don't care.
Well, you've got
Harry Kane's Bundesliga doesn't suddenly make him a very good striker. He was a very good striker before the Bundesliga.
Makes him even better now. Doing it in title races to win the league trophies. Let's go back here. This look away. Thank you.
Title races.
One sec. Sorry. Okay. Cool. All right, see you in a bit. This here is Cardi V, Virgil the Stallion, Jiggle, sorry, Twinkle Van Dyke,
Virgil van Dijk, Virgil van Pop, Drop and Locket.
Yeah,
Liverpool will be back.
These words are doing my dyslexia in, reading them so quickly. There we go.
Deep to reactive, writing them off. There you go.
Liverpool showed up to the home of the world champions and gave it a good go. Husam, you should be proud of Liverpool for running Chelsea close.
The world champion are 6th. They're below Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and Spurs.
That's even an Arsenal fan, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's a Chelsea fan, actually. That's a Chelsea fan. He has the Arsenal with a bottle head.
You should criticize players, but when Konate and Maka have fallen off, yet Slot keeps playing them instead of giving Gomez and Jones a chance, it's a manager's job to change.
That's another thing as well, true.
But that part I agree with.
Yeah, I agree with him. Like he needs to have the balls to drop the big players as well. Yeah.
Terry, what advice would you give to a new YouTube channel? Don't copy what.
Be original. Don't imitate everyone else.
Don't start. My honest opinion: if you're starting brand new, fresh, don't start a panel show. Don't start a live watch along. Don't start fan channel reviews. Not because I don't want the competition, but it's already being done by 1,000 other people, and you're essentially turning up to an earthquake with a dustpan and brush, thinking you help, like you'd be helping. Do what HMRC podcast has done. Something completely and utterly different. Do what Laura Kirk is doing, where she does great satirical TikToks as an example. Think of something that barely anybody's doing or nobody's doing. When the Football Terrace, when we really started, the live match reactions, the way we did them, no one was doing them. The fan channel review, or Killing the Game as it's called now, nobody was doing them. These types of panel shows, nobody was doing them. So think of something different and innovative. Don't just copy, because honestly, the market's so saturated, you're just not going to get seen. Like in my personal, you might break through. You might be so talented and so engaging that you do. It's a fair play, but the likelihood is now it'll just be one of
on a second social media app as well.
Yes, absolutely important. Are Liverpool creating chances and not taking them? Yes, but in the Palace-Chelsea games, when the other teams are creating way more chances and not taking them, then there's majority comes down to the system.
We can sit here and talk about the moments that Liverpool had against Galatasaray, Palace, and Chelsea. You guys are completely correct. Here's the problem. Galatasaray had more moments. Crystal Palace had more moments.
Well, Crystal Palace
Chelsea
had more moments.
had more moments.
Crystal Palace had more moments in the first half. In the second half, you had 4, 5, 6 chances unanswered to score. And even when you equalized, there was a feeling that you guys would go on to get the winner because you
didn't
had
have
the
4 or 5 chances. I can recall, I think 3 chances max against Crystal Palace.
This
The
is-
Isak
Anyway,
one.
Guys, Zayn, just to respond to you, Liverpool had more XG, more big chances than Chelsea in that game. Just statistically, that is like factually, Zayn, you're not correct. Maybe Chelsea got in more areas
But
on the
also,
pitch, as Husam said,
I
Garnacho.
think
But
what-
the chances, Liverpool had more clear-cut chances than
You've
Chelsea.
all-
That's factual, by the way.
But you've also got to factor in opportunities, not just the shots. Because, for instance, if you're running through on goal and you're 2-on-1, and all you've got to do is square it for a tap in, and somebody overhits the pass and you don't shoot, that is for me, that is, you're going to get 0 XG for that, but it's a chance. And Liverpool have done that on a number of occasions this year where simple pass hasn't happened. And I think that those things for me cannot and shouldn't be forgotten. I mean, against Crystal Palace, just on shots, Liverpool had more shots than Crystal Palace in that game, had 80% of the ball. And if we look at just the second half of the game, it was 13 shots to 6. So yes, the first half they were better than you. 13 shots to 6 in the second half. The difference is you only got 2 of your shots on target. 8 were off target in that game. They only had.
I actually went to check that same exact statistic. Chelsea's XG on target was 1.66. Liverpool was 0.96.
Yeah, because you're not hitting the target. You're like it's not, your shooting's off, and it's just these things have got to be improved. No one is saying the system can't improve, but there's a lot.
But
going
you
on.
remember, the coach is not going to put the ball in the back of the net. The coach is not going to square it to
Agreed.
Salah. This is the XG on goal. This is when the players come in now. Now shoot on target if you're in front of the goal. Square it to the player. The XG is there. Now you got to put it on target. As you said, Husam, work fucking Sanchez. Why Sanchez? There's no memorable chance for
He
Sanchez.
didn't
No, I
make a
agree.
single save, bro.
Patrick here says, big up Mo, Husam Intel. Always my favorite show. Fair play, Husam. Admire you for taking the banter on the chin. Hope you guys are well. I just want to say on this, Mo and Husam are probably one of the only two, not only two, but one of a very few group of people that come on the terrace that can actually take themselves being bantered, don't mind the titles of the videos, don't mind it. A lot of people, as you boys know, get a bit sensitive about it. So I've got to give them a lot of credit. They don't moan at all.
Well, I got cooked for that video, that fucking like KG football. I got cooked, bro. I read the comments. Yo, fuck off, bro. I
The
got
funniest part is like the amount of my stuff KJ puts up, and I always go, oh, no, Terry never gets clipped. Go to our Football Terrace Extra channel and look at all the videos up there of me. There's thousands of the fucking things. Looking forward to Husam deflecting on Liverpool.
It's not deflect. It's an 57 minutes now. We have not spoken about anything but Liverpool, to be honest.
It's true. There's no deflections. Happy birthday to Liverpool legend Trent. Oh, is it his birthday today? Happy birthday to Trent. I hope you're enjoying Spain, brother. Husam, is there something missing? There is something missing. Pace in the team. Do you think you're missing pace? Do you think you lack pace?
I don't think it's anything missing. I think it's just the wrong combinations of each other.
What about physicality? Someone mentioned that before. Physicality.
Pace is Frimpong.
Wayne here says, I actually agree with Husam, shocking as it is, but I think both teams played poorly. Chelsea were just better. It was an ugly match, just entertaining, is what Wayne said.
It was a very entertaining game. I think
it was not
very
ugly
game. I
at
loved
all.
it.
But thank you for agreeing with me for the first time in Football Terrace history.
Yeah, he rarely agrees with you, to be honest with you. He's not a fan. He's not a fan most of the times. We can twist it. Chelsea made Liverpool crap. I thought Chelsea were quite good, to be fair. In my personal opinion, I thought Chelsea.
I thought Maresca played the anti-Liverpool to the T by having they're pulling players out of position, by playing behind the lines, by Malagusto, by the overlaps. I thought Maresca literally had the counter Liverpool plan, and hats off to him.
Pace, directness, and tailing on defenders. Midfield was wide open. Gusto kept running through. Chelsea also pinged to Garnacho all the time. Well, that's also what I don't think Man United will win, because we won't be able to handle the pressure of going to Anfield. But the way we play, if you don't change anything, we should be able to exploit that. We won't. You will beat us, but we should be able to exploit those holes with the way we play. Sam, how's it feeling with your feet up?
Well, I'm still relaxed. You ask me right now who will win the league, I'll say Liverpool.
So that was, I mean, that's kind of our next talking point here, really. So we'll come back to some more of these super chats in a little bit. And remember, people to cook Husam for using one of my Paul Scholes arguments versus Gerrard's about where he was at the same age. I love that he's done that.
That's a complete lie. I didn't.
You did.
You
just used it about.
No, I didn't think of winning trophies at all. I brought up
but I didn't finish talking. Like, to win, Scholes was winning the trophies and playing brilliantly at 35, 36, 37, 38, 39 when Gerrard was a manager or in
Let
America.
me tell you how much I've changed people's opinions on Paul Scholes. Even Mo subscribes to my school of thought on Scholes now. That's how much I've changed.
Gerrard doesn't.
20 years, and I wasn't even nominated for a Ballon d'Or. That's crazy.
I don't care about those things. The same. You know what I love about the Ballon d'Or argument, right? What I love about the Ballon d'Or argument is, one, we've seen Scott McTominay nominated. Two,
he deserves it.
And what people think about him. But also, all I've seen since the first time we had a Ballon d'Or argument, all I've seen for the past 5 years is people repeat what I saw my whole life, was everybody moaning about how fraudulent and stupid and bad the results of it are. So that's why I never take it too seriously. But
what's fraudulent? Dembele deserved it. Rodri deserved it.
No, hang on. But deserved it. You don't have your Twitter account anymore, so I can't go and pull the receipts up. But I remember just a couple of years ago when you were still on Twitter, you weren't happy with certain results. It might have been who won the goalkeeper award, who is in the team.
Oh, you're missing the point. I'm not talking about them winning. I'm saying they were nominated.
My point is this: if people can moan about the results,
Jamie Carragher finished in the higher in Ballon d'Or.
But again, if you would just please let me finish my sentence. If you can moan about the results and the voting and the elements of it being fraudulent, that's fine. Anything that you sit there and call fraudulent, I then won't take seriously in a debate about who's better or worse than someone if the fundamental process of that award you call fraudulent. I can't then take it.
Don't get me started, because Paul Scholes is not even a top 10 Premier League midfielder of all time. So
Gerrard disagrees. He said it yesterday.
And so what? Who cares? Do you ever see me bring up quotes of what people say about Gerrard?
Well, you come out and say that the quotes about Scholes are made up, so you've played them down before, saying you can't use
because I don't bring up other people's
and you
quotes.
have brought up what people said about Gerrard, because you put into the group chat only last year that Scholes said that Gerrard was better. So you literally do that.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You literally have done that.
That was me taking
You've literally done that in a debate.
I'm taking the piss out of you. That's it.
Oh, so when you do it, it's taking the piss. When other people do it, it's not debating seriously.
What people say. Yeah, you can use your own measuring stick and look at it. That's it.
I do use my own measuring stick.
Yeah, which is the team trophy. Wow,
no, that's one. No, that isn't. That's never what I've said. That is. See, what you do is, this is how I always beat you in a debate in my world. Because
you don't beat me in a debate.
Well, no, but this is why I think I do.
Because you're very emotional.
The final thing I'm going to say before we move on, the reason why I believe I win in a real debate setting is that you lie. So, for instance, I have never said team trophies is what I consider. What I say is your influence on winning those team trophies. So you twist what I say to make a point. I don't twist what you say. You slag off the Ballon d'Or and you use player quotes about people. You literally do those things, which isn't a lie. You lie about things that I say to try and win your points. So in a debate, whether you agree with my stance or yours, in a real debate environment, you wouldn't get votes because you're not being honest in your assessments and you're not being honest in what you say.
I am being honest. You're the one lying, because I said Dembele deserves it and Rodri deserves it. I've for the last 5 years, I haven't complained about the Ballon d'Or winner once. I've said they've deserved it every single time.
But that is irrelevant.
And me bringing up quotes is your logic against you. That's it.
No, not at all. If you sit there and you complain, if you have referred to an award ceremony, if you have referred to an award ceremony now or in the past as fraudulent, ridiculous, a popularity contest, that don't make sense, what a ridiculous result. If you say that, and the masses say that on a regular basis, it's the reason why for the last 20 years of my life, when having these conversations, I discount it as a measuring stick because so many people criticize it. What nobody criticizes is your influence on winning trophies, your longevity and consistency, your outputs as a player, and your ability. The 4 things that I measure it on, nobody ever disputes are important, but people consistently dispute who did or didn't deserve to be nominated or win awards. Therefore, I remove it from a measuring element. That is consistency to the highest degree. But let's move on.
Terry, will you never accept that on individual Gerrard is better than Scholes? Will you ever? It doesn't matter what evidence people provide you about individual.
I will. Ever. The only way I'll ever do it is if we. One thing I'm very up for doing, and nobody ever wants to do this, if we agree a set metric that we can then just measure everybody against, and it becomes non-subjective, and Gerard comes out on top.
How
then
about
I'll
we do
accept-
this? How about I'm gonna give you the floor? How about you come up with the metrics?
I already got
actually
it. I've already got it.
We do 15 minutes, and then we'll actually
We won't do it
judge
today.
on
We can do it on
the
another show. But the metrics,
yeah.
I've done these metrics for the past 7 years on socials: ability, longevity, output, and influence on winning trophies. Those are the 4 metrics, my 4 pillars that I judge every single player in the world on.
Gerard
And
actually wins all.
What about nominations for like individual awards?
No,
and
I don't.
leading
I don't
the
care.
teams.
But I don't,
You don't care about
that
this
stuff.
at all.
No, the reason I don't care about that, and we'll do that on that show, is because it's all. Mo Salah's a great example. Mo Salah for me has been Liverpool's best player in this last 8-9 years. Been their best player, but in the first 3 or 4 or 5 years when he was killing it, there were other players that were just more popular. They were the poster boys, the Trents and the VVDs and the Manes, when I felt Mo Salah was better. It's only now, later on down the line, Liverpool fans are like, oh, he's been our guy. He could be the Premier League GOAT. But he wasn't the poster boy. So I don't care about the popularity of a player isn't that important for me when it comes to judging how good a football player they were. Because there were players in the Man United team like David Beckham, who, by the way, I thought was world class. He was more popular on a social level than Paul Scholes, but he wasn't a better football player than Paul Scholes. So David Beckham's influence and celebrity and fame doesn't make him a better football player. Some people are just more
no one is saying
that. So that's why I discount it.
Beckham finished second in '99. Beckham finished second in the Ballon d'Or.
But he ain't better than Paul Scholes.
You don't think Beckham's better than Paul Scholes?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna be right back, guys. I'm gonna be right back.
I don't think he's better than Paul Scholes personally. I don't. Anyway, let's move on like I wanted to.
Beckham is not better than Paul Scholes, chat. I give up. I give up on football.
I do not.
Do you actually maintain that opinion? Do you maintain that Beckham?
I don't think David Beckham was a better football player than Paul Scholes. No.
Oh God.
Now, be very careful you don't try and misquote me or make it polarized. I already said David Beckham was a world-class footballer, but Paul Scholes was a better football player than him, in my personal opinion. A better player, especially in central midfield.
I actually think that Paul Scholes is better than David Beckham, to be honest.
Level of disrespect.
No, seriously.
So it's disrespectful to say David Beckham's world class, but Paul Scholes is better. David Beckham agrees with me, by the way.
Completely disrespectful. David Beckham was one of the best players in La Liga, even with the Galacticos. He did not look out of place next to R9, next to Figo, next to
but Paul Scholes wouldn't have looked out of place in there, in my opinion, either.
Paul Scholes was nothing special. Paul Scholes was not even a top 10 Man United player. He never even won Man United player of the season. He never even won. Imagine, forget all individual awards. If a player, by definition, if a player is considered the best Premier League midfielder in history, how the hell has he not even won Man United Player of the Year? The most basic award.
The reason
he was never the most important player in his Man United career even once.
So I don't care about the player awards, because as much as it's nice that somebody gets an accolade, the only time it's really stood out, when the player awards at Man United, the only time they've protruded where we're really focused on them is actually when we've been bad. Oh, if it weren't for Bruno this year, where would we have been? David De Gea winning it 3, 4, 5 times because he was literally one of our only top performing players. When Scholes was in his pomp in this team, those awards could have gone to any one of 4, 5, 6, 7 players. No one cared. There wasn't a single Man United fan that went, oh, Scholes, you better start getting these awards soon. Because I'm not missing the point, because you didn't let me finish
arguing
it.
Something I'm not, though.
But I'm telling you my perspective on the player awards. I don't think who gets those player awards dictates who is important to your team or not. And I've said this to you before on so many debates, and you keep challenging me the same way, which is crazy because you're going to get the same answer. Paul Scholes not being in a season, just hypothetically speaking, Paul Scholes might not have been our first, second, or third best player. Doesn't mean he wasn't better than 99.9% of other midfielders around the world. Man United were just that good.
Actually, this is where you're wrong. It does mean.
No, I'm not wrong.
Because, by definition, if a player is the best in his position in Premier League history, according to Terry Flowers, there must be at least 1 year where he was minimum the best player at your own club.
But he was.
Of which that has never not happened.
But he was. But he was. But getting the player award doesn't dictate who the actual best player was, because as I've already said, you can go through Twitter every single time a Ballon d'Or is given out, or a type of Ballon d'Or. It might be the best goalkeeper. But when there's Ballon d'Ors, when there's Player of the Year awards, when there's Football Writers Player of the Year, Players Player, or internal club awards, I see this every single year. How did he get it over him? Oh, I'd never do that. There's always disagreement in it because people don't always agree. So I don't take it as a serious.
No, but that can happen once. Okay, so that can happen once, twice, but through a whole career. Okay, have you even like Terry? I get it. It can happen once to that player, once to this player, once. But if it happens to the same guy, like they were targeting schools, like they're like this guy's never winning things. We're always gonna have an agenda. At Man United, one of their best players in the history. But this is what about giving him?
Look, he won some internal awards. It is just not important. At the end of the day, what I believe most of these awards are about, and there's a reason that Man United in the last 4 or 5 years haven't, and I really want to get onto the main talking point, boys, because this is getting on my nerves now, because I've gone through this with you two on Spaces.
I think you're the one who's dragging this.
Yeah, you're the one that's dragging it.
Because if I turn around and go, I want to move on, people will say, Terry, I don't want to speak about it. But we've had this conversation before. That's why I'm starting to get frustrated in it. You know what the answer to this is. You know what I think of player awards. They're about popularity. Paul Scholes had no desire to get modeling deals. He had no desire to be in the limelight. Even Man United in recent years have cancelled end of year awards because we've been so bad and it's so embarrassing. But half the reasons that football clubs do this is to bring eyes on things. Oh, this guy's going to get an award. Oh, this is amazing. The pictures. Paul Scholes was eliminated from a lot of that because he had zero interest in any of this. And all the player awards are for me is a popularity contest. It's all they've ever been. And
so
I don't care either way.
Man United itself. Great.
Sorry?
So he was unpopular at Man United himself. You are correct. He did win an individual award. He won Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year in 1993.
Yeah, he won some stuff. He's been in.
Meanwhile, Gerrard made the world 11 next to
He's been in PFA. He's been in PFA Players of the Year.
Remember,
he's won Player of the Month. He's been in PFAs of the Year. He's won Player of the Month, which I don't even think KDB. This is the mad thing. KDB never won a Player of the Month award. But yet, Scholes has 5 of them. We can all play these games and find these little things. He's in the Premier League Hall of Fame. He was in the Premier League Team of the Year for 2 different decades. He was voted into the Premier League Main Team of the Year over 2 decades. So he's won awards, but I don't care
about them. Can we do them
for
Gerrard now as well? Can
we not move on? No. Can we not move on, please? Hang
on. Can I just name them? No. You can't name them because I've said I don't care about Scholes. I don't care about Gerrard.
You don't care them? Why you name them for Scholes then?
Because you said that he didn't win anything. But anyway, let's move on. I'm calling that your lie. In terms of the actual conversation I wanted to have was, is this Arsenal's best chance now to win the league, Mo?
100%, yeah. They're favorites for me now. No, they are equal chance as Liverpool, to be honest. They're not favorites for me yet. It's too early to say that. However, I actually changed a little bit of my opinion. I thought that Liverpool will actually be better than this. In the beginning of the season, I thought that Liverpool will actually, Arne Slot will do the same plans as last season, right? He will actually he's actually going to improve. Arne Slot went backwards with better players, right? The players actually, I said Salah is not going to be the same as last year, but I thought Wirtz would be better than this. I thought Konate would be better than this. I thought Frimpong or Conor Bradley would be better. Kirkes would be better than this, but they're not great. But Arsenal is the most consistent team in the league currently. It's too early to say that they're going to win the league or not, but this is their best chance. I don't think there is a word here where we sit now and say that Arteta at the end of the season have any excuses of not winning this league. He doesn't have any excuses of not winning the league now. He got his team. He got his striker. He got backups. They won games with Madueke, right? With no Saka and Odegaard now. Is he play 10? Is he play left wing? It doesn't matter. He got Zubamendi. People say that he's going to change lives. I agree. He's a brilliant footballer. They got backups for the back line. I actually believe, Terry, this might be Arsenal's year.
Arsenal are favourites. They've been with each other for the last 5 years. Declan Rice nominated for a Ballon d'Or. Saka nominated for a Ballon d'Or. Joker is nominated for a Ballon d'Or. You know, they got individually recognized as fantastic players as well. So that's part of it. David Raya was nominated for the goalkeeper award. You get me? Because when a player is important, they actually get recognized by their peers and by public.
Please. So what you were saying is that it won't be Liverpool that cost Liverpool the league. You're saying Arsenal are better than you?
No, I'm just joking. I still think Liverpool will win the league. I'm just taking the piss out of Tuareg because he got mad.
No, it's not. Do you know what it is? I'll be honest with you. I normally don't like saying this on camera. My reason is you've got to go in 15 minutes, and I wanted to have a good conversation about
It's
this.
okay. I can stay longer. I don't have to go.
All right, cool. Let's stay longer then. Let's go.
I could stay 10 more minutes. It's okay. 25
Cool.
minutes. Enough to talk about Arsenal. You get me?
Cool. Let's go.
Anyway, I think Liverpool will win the league still. You know, I think Arsenal have shown good signs, but I'm not overall convinced with Arsenal performances either. You get me? Like, that's the thing. Like, Arsenal's performances in the big games have been convincing this season. Nottingham Forest, again, with Postecoglou, disaster anyway. Leeds, disaster. West Ham, I think, going forward, they're lacking something, like a little bit, Arsenal. Like, I think they should be creating a higher volume of chances. I think defensively, they held West Ham, so that's something that's important from an Arsenal perspective. West Ham didn't have any chances, so that's why you have to give credit to Arsenal from a defensive perspective. So, defensively, they did really well. And I think they handled West Ham's chance creation. They handled their their creativity, basically. Nuno Santo, good manager, but it's not enough. I think West Ham are going through absolute turmoil right now, but they need some time. They need some time as well, Arsenal, with the current players to figure out kind of like what's their strongest starting lineup. I actually saw a video, I think it was on Terry, I think you actually reacted to it maybe, but I think it was one of the AFTV videos or one of the DR Sports videos where they were kind of talking about Jokers's form and the fact that he hasn't scored like in 6 games as well. So that's something as well. Obviously, Jokers needs to pick up his form. Yeah, in 6 games. He's actually 0 goals in 6 games. His last goal is against Forest, I believe. So since then, all comps he hasn't scored. So he needs to perform better. There was actually an AFTV argument where they were arguing whether Havertz should be starting in this team if he's back. Now, listen, that sounds crazy, but he's the better footballer. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's, whether you like it or not, Mo, he is the better. Like, as a footballer, as a striker, Jokers is better, of course. But as a footballer, maybe Havertz can give more to the team.
I actually didn't know that. I thought that first game was like 2-3 games ago. I like in my head.
No, bro, 6 games he hasn't scored. Bilbao he hasn't scored. The last, I think, 5 Premier League games he hasn't scored.
Like, I went to, by the way, I went to check what you're saying, actually. I actually going to check what you're saying.
This is the game. He didn't score against West Ham, didn't score against Olympiacos or Newcastle or Manchester City or Bilbao. 5 games in a row.
2.
I don't know if he played against Port Vale, to be honest.
5 games he hasn't scored. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, he did play against Port Vale. So that's the 6th game.
Oh, okay.
6 games without a goal. So he needs to improve his form a little bit, but he's a very good striker, so I expect him to improve his form. But overall, look, for me, us winning the league title just depends on us fixing up. That's it.
That's what I don't get. That's the part that me and you disagree. For you, it's only about if Liverpool play well, they will win the title. What if Arsenal play better as well? Why is it Liverpool will get better and Arsenal won't? What about City? You know, me and you know that if fucking City are 2 to 5 points behind anyone in January, everyone is shit in their bed. Like, it's Pep Guardiola, right?
Yeah, of course. But with the Manchester City, they have one nuclear weapon. The rest of the team is not nuclear.
Arsenal, for me, is that people keep talking, you yourself and some of the Liverpool fans keep talking about if Liverpool get better, if we do what we have to do, we'll win the league. Okay, what if Arsenal actually improve? What if you can start scoring goal? What if Havertz? Okay,
I'll give you your answer, no problem. If Liverpool do what's expected and Arsenal do what's expected, Liverpool win the league because we're better than them. It's very simple.
But you don't know. It's not actually, that is not proven. That is not, because now you're very light in.
We're not here to just say what's proven, Mo. We're here to say our opinions. I can't prove that we're gonna win the league 7 months.
But I'm trying to debate you. But I'm trying to debate you.
The reason why I think we're better is Alexander Isak, Premier League proven, better than Victor Gyökeres last season, factually. Cody Gakpo, he's shit, but last season he scored 12, 13 Premier League goals. Salah, best player in the league last season. Florian Wirtz, of course, is not going to go to the end of the year getting 0 GA. Yani, of course, that's not going to happen. Raven Gravenberg, one of the best DMs. Virgil van Dijk, according to you. Ferdinand can't even lace his boots, according to you. Kerkez, PFA team of the season, left back. Alisson back. Like, everything is there. So when I say, like, okay, what if Liverpool perform well and Arsenal performed well? If Liverpool perform well and Arsenal perform well, I believe, because we're better than them, that we're going to win the league. So my thing is,
I believe the Arsenal are more structured than
Arsenal can play better. You're correct. Arsenal can play better. No. But we're playing very badly right now, and we're 1 point
behind. Can I respond? Actually, I genuinely believe that Arsenal are more structured than Liverpool as a team, coach. That's why I think that Arteta is a better coach than Arne Slot in terms of coaching the team. Arne Slot has not proven to me yet about the coaching thing in terms of a structure and all this stuff. And that's why I think that Konate not playing good. If Konate doesn't play good and continue like this, or he picks up an injury, you're in deep trouble. I don't rate Kerkez as highly as you. I think there are other fullbacks that are better than him. I don't think Frimpong is a right back at all. I said that plenty of times. Arne Slot can fix him as he did with Gravenberch, but I don't think he's a right back at all. Salah, I said plenty of times that Salah will never repeat the numbers of last year, but you said even if he gets 50%, he's good. However, now comes to the Isak versus Wirtz. You have so many good players, right? You have so many good players. Salah, Isak, Ekitike, Wirtz. What is the likelihood of Arne Slot getting the best out of all of them versus the likelihood of Arteta being more consistent during the season?
Oh, it's way more, because here's the thing: Arne Slot sample size once again and proven data. Arne Slot last season, Diaz false 9, Gravenberch in the 6. He switched things up. How many times did he switch things up, Mo? You said it your own. I think you said it by yourself even last year. He keeps finding solutions. So do I believe Arne Slot is going to continue to be stubborn and do the wrong thing in all the games? No. I think he will figure it out, because he's shown me last season he's capable of changing stuff around. He's capable of dropping players. He's capable of playing different players in different positions. Example, Chelsea at home, he played Curtis Jones on Palmer the whole game and we ended up winning. So that's the thing.
But
so
I
he's
think
capable. He's capable. He just has to do it.
Salah last season was a carry job for Liverpool. Without Salah, you don't win the league.
I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, the reason why I say it's a carry job, because both Liverpool and Arsenal last season had kind of very similar defensive record. Yeah, like you had more clean sheets, but they had less goals scored. The difference between you and Arsenal was the goal scoring and the assists and the chance creation, which is Salah topped the league in every metric. And in everything, I don't think so, but yeah, manager was more offensive and Salah helped him and everything.
Arteta was not risk-taking at all last year. You know this.
In some games, but also
you said it yourself. He accepted the draw at home to Brighton.
But I agree with you. I agree with you that he wasn't.
Don't change the narrative.
I agree with you, but also you have to know that even Max said it yesterday that Liverpool last season everything went your way. Salah scoring a lot of goals. You didn't have any injuries. Things. Arsenal had injuries. City had injuries, and I'm not saying that if they had injuries they would have won it. But I think they would have put in a fight, at least a fight for Liverpool. Liverpool at one point, the attack started with Nwaneri, Moreno, and Trossard on the left. Okay, so we need to have some shame here, right? Like Salah wasn't injured last season. He was firing until you actually won the league in March. And then he kind of stepped down a little bit and slowed down. You know what I mean? Konate was not injured, which is something that you cannot rely on. Every game now he's doing, he's holding his leg and stuff like this. I'm not saying that Arsenal will win the league. I think it's a 50-50 now. But this is Arsenal. I think this is Arsenal's best chance. It wasn't the 23-24 season because they didn't have the squad. The season before, after this, they played well, but City were better than them. I genuinely believe that this is Arsenal have the best squad now in the league now. Currently, Arsenal have the deepest squad in the league. Currently, they can go in all competitions. Can they win the league? Yes. Are they going to win the league? Probably also yes. They're going to win the league. You know what I mean? Depending on how they are continuously playing. No, Arsenal. Yeah. Arsenal. Depending. Are they equal chance to Liverpool? Probably yes. It's a 50-50.
You're backing
I don't know
a
why
bottle.
people can accept. What do you mean I'm backing a bottle, John?
خلاص, we'll see. Don't worry. Smile in October, cry in May. The Arsenal way. Don't worry. We've been here before.
Sorry about that, gents. I had to take care of something while you guys were talking that I forgot to do. But yeah, look, I think this is a good chance for Arsenal.
Smile in October, cry in May is crazy.
But I don't know about you, I still have Liverpool as the favourites. I haven't changed my mind because of these bad results, which is, listen, it's not my club, Liverpool. So Liverpool fans, they can have their meltdowns, they can go crazy, they can do whatever they want. It's their club. I think Arsenal look really strong. I think Arsenal look really dangerous. But at the same time, I can't have them not as the favourites yet. I can't because of that know-how. That being said, where my mind is likely to change is over the next 4, 5, 6 games. if Liverpool don't fix up, if their players don't improve, the players don't start delivering, if Slot doesn't fix a few of the holes within his system, you know, it's our start with the players first. Like, if those things don't happen, right? If those things don't happen, then there is a really good chance that Arsenal could create a 4, 6, and 8 plus point gap. And I think if Arsenal could have that gap over Liverpool, I don't think this year Arsenal would throw it away. I think with having gone through title races before, I think it does. Even when you don't win, I still think it builds a resilience when you haven't seen the dressing room get lost. The one thing you can like Arteta, loathe Arteta, or be somewhere in between, he hasn't lost this dressing room. So they've grown through that. The one team to look out for me is City. Because
I was about to ask you guys, are we ruling them out or what?
Yeah, go.
No, but I still think it's behind, right, Husam? You still think they're behind Arsenal and Liverpool.
The thing is, I was thinking about this yesterday. Martin actually said this. Was like, okay, so it's true. City have a nuclear weapon that scores the goals for them and absolutely cooks. Okay, but Liverpool had the nuclear weapon in Salah last year.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you the difference. But also, there is, I'm going to tell you, which is, this is where I fight Salah is corner. When people say Salah is shit, this is what I fight. How the fuck, like they say Salah only scores goals, it's only the numbers. The numbers about not only scoring, it's about scoring goals, assisting, creating chances. Haaland doesn't do this. Haaland,
true.
We're not going to come at the end of the season, Sam, and Haaland is a top goal scorer, and top assist.
Impossible for him to have the most assists. Impossible.
Okay, forget the top. We're not going to come here until the end of the season, and Haaland has 50 chances between him and the next guy. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Created.
True.
This is where I'm like, yes, he scores goals, Haaland, but he's not going to do Salah. Like Salah last season, top goal scorer, top assist.
But he might score more goals, though, with way less assists.
How many? Is he going to break
Okay,
the
so
record?
let's actually look at the number here. Erling Haaland, we are 7 games into the season, has 9 goals. If he carries on in this form, he could be like on 40 goals by the end of the year. Premier League, by the way. He's on 9 and 7, Mo. This guy's not normal, I told you.
What do you mean? You think you think Haaland's going to score 40 goals?
It's a possibility the way that he's going. Fucking hell, he's scoring a goal every game, bro.
Yeah, you know, he started the same. You know, this is his lowest goal in the first 7 games. To be honest with you guys, if Haaland scored 40 goals, we're going to just have to sit and say this is the most prolific striker ever to play the football game. Like, if he scores 40 goals in the Premier League.
He's the best goal scorer that's ever played football in England, ever. And we were running. We were
scoring than like Henry, Aguero, these guys.
Yes, yep. None of them at 25 years of age are close. Alan Shearer, as an example, Premier League's top best ever goal scorer, most goals ever scored. At the same age, Haaland's got 160 more goals than him.
Do you know what is scary, Terry? Is that he's 24.
He's got more goals than Shearer had. Like, the gap between them is bigger than Shearer's total goal number. Shearer had 130 odd.
Yeah, but you know, the scary part is that I'm watching Haaland now, and the guy is improving his football ability, touches, passes, linking up play, movement as well. And I'm like, this is if he stays on the same rate.
Haaland is definitely scary. That guy ain't normal.
Like, it's really like, if this guy hits his peak at 28 and he keeps improving at the same.
Then Haaland scored at the Emirates, I swear.
Yeah.
Yep.
And talk about this season.
Yes, he's the one who scored.
You know that the only stadium Haaland hasn't scored in is Anfield in the whole league.
You know when Haaland improved. He's the one who passed the ball in the middle between guys, and he's the one who got at the end of that chance. You would never say that 2 years ago.
That was a Doku assist or Foden assist.
It was a Reinders assist.
No, someone played him the pass. Oh yeah, it was Reinders.
He passed it to Reinders, and then Reinders went forward, and then he passed it.
Listen, I like Haaland. I think he's already proven himself one of the greatest strikers in history of football generally. Like, he's unbelievable. That guy's a goal machine. But do I think City are as balanced as Liverpool and Arsenal? To be honest, no. I think.
But can I tell you guys the reality? If City win this league this season over Arteta and Arne Slot, with the amount of good players that Liverpool have and how stable Arsenal is,
should be embarrassed, not us.
Both should be embarrassed.
Nah, we won already last season. Once again, you missed the shot.
bro. You won, and you literally signed the best players around that are available to sign. As you said, you
As
signed,
much
bro.
assassin as you do, you cannot change the fact that Arteta must, whether you like it or not.
I never changed that. Never changed this. Arteta must.
خلاص.
And you also must. It's a failure for you to win.
Let's put Liverpool fans and Arsenal fans in a prism. 100% Liverpool fans, 100% Arsenal fans. How many percentage of Arsenal fans are going to be Arteta out at the end of the year if he wins nothing major? 70?
A lot.
Okay. How many percentage Liverpool fans will be Slot out?
Not a lot.
30? 25?
That has nothing to do with that has nothing to do with the clubs, though. That has nothing to do with the clubs.
Because Arne Slot has shown the ability to get
Forget Arne Slot. See, that's the problem. You keep switching it to Arne Slot. I'm switching it to Liverpool. Liverpool, for the first time that I have seen in my life, win the league and spend 480 million. Signing not only...
Can you stop increasing the number every stream?
It's 480 million. It's 400... The gay transfer didn't go through. 400... Husam, you won the league. You have PFA Player of the Year last season. He's on 400k. You have the best defender in the league. You have arguably...
People have to in the league. I agree.
But people don't know what I'm talking about.
You want to know who summarized it best? Matisse said Liverpool must and Arsenal must, but Arsenal must more. That's it.
No. I'm going to tell you the difference. Arteta must, but Liverpool must. You see the difference?
Who does Arteta manage? Now you're doing semantics.
No. Arteta as a coach must win the league for not to get sacked. And Liverpool must for the club, but Slot must not. For Liverpool as an institution, this is your chance to actually retain the title. Bro, you've seen your team win 2 league titles. This is your time to retain it then after the 80s. This is your time to retain it. This is why what is lagging, guys? Why do people keep saying it's lagging? The stream is lagging.
What's lagging? The stream.
What the fuck? People stop fucking doing this in the chat, bro. Stop fucking trolling. Fucking dickheads.
Relax, Mo. Fucking hell. Why are you so mad, brother? Relax.
Because he kind of like we're having a good conversation and someone is just lagging.
Why calling the terrace community dickheads? Respect the terrace community, mate.
Some people are just
I'll be honest with you. People lying that it's lagging when it isn't lagging, they are dickheads.
Wow. Hey, I tried to defend you, chat, but hey, it is what it is.
The chat are going to cook him as well. It's a dickhead move.
Now, to be honest with you, Osam, you haven't saying, I believe that you saying that it's only on Liverpool proves me that you must. You have no respect for Arsenal, and you're saying that, or City, you're saying if we play good, we'll win the league. Regardless of what the others do, show me that you believe that your club is the one that must. It's your words.
I agree with you. Liverpool must and Arsenal must, but Arsenal must more. It's very simple logic because they've been together for 5-6 years, and that's it. Let's agree to disagree. We will never agree on this.
I feel like with the must things, the teams must. I feel like there's a little bit of the celebration police stuff in here as well. I didn't realize this today, but I went back to an old thought. The only reason people do the celebration police stuff to Arsenal is so they don't have to admit that they were hurt by losing to them, or that win for Arsenal was significant in some way. So they do the whole. You did it when Man United won the Carabao Cup, but everyone, you kind of know that you did it as a joke. You kind of admitted to it. The whole people are laughing about them. Why are you celebrating so hard? People do the celebration police thing to play it down. The same way as when they go out of the Europa League, the Carabao Cup, or the FA Cup, it's don't care anyway, not that important. We all know it's all bullshit. You know, it's about why did Jamie Carragher cry his eyes out when the Arsenal players were taking pictures on the pitch of their guy? The reason he was crying is because he was just gutted that his team lost. But instead of admitting that, he tried to make it into a serious talking point. I feel the same when people do the you must thing. It's that when people go you must and there's no excuse not to, I just feel it goes too far. What if Liverpool, it might not happen now, go and get 105 fucking points? I'm giving a really extreme example here to prove the point. What if they go and get 100 points and are just unbeatable from this point, and Arsenal get 98 points? The whole you must, as you're a complete failure, I think just gets eradicated in that regard. Some will say that Liverpool must because of what they've spent. Well, what if they come a close second, but they're purring by the end of the season? They're likely to go into next year and be amazing and might win it then. The whole you must feels very terminal in relation to if you don't, everything's got to be ripped up and started again.
But isn't
And
it terminal for Arteta?
it might be again. I think you can say Arteta must, but I still think there is context within it. I think Arteta must win a trophy, otherwise they might have to look beyond him. But must win the Premier League, or he's got to be sacked. The more I think about it, the more the season goes on, I realize.
Champions League.
Well, all the Champions League. Well, what if he loses the Champions League final narrowly to PSG,
Liverpool, hopefully,
but wins the FA Cup and wins the Carabao Cup? Then I wouldn't say he has to be sacked. And that's why for me,
even Mo will disagree with you on this one.
Well, let him. I don't care. With all due respect, disagree what you want. But I feel like, from my point of view, when people are using it, it's a way of planting a seed and setting up to be able to have a pop at people later. I don't necessarily think people believe in it in its entirety, because they can't. It's different with you two gents, because we'll have a conversation and we'll debate and we'll agree and disagree on certain things. But for some people, it's just, I need that to get accepted as they must, or what? Or I get to go scorched earth on them. Why? You're a fucking grown man. What's wrong with you? So I think there's a little bit of that in all of this. You know, in Liverpool, I defend Liverpool the same way. Arne Slot must this year. Must or what? He won the league last year. Fair enough. If you're crap all season and you come 10th, he might lose his job, right? But if you come a close second, win an FA Cup, have a good Champions League run, the players, but you're playing really well, the team's settled, it takes a bit longer than you expected. Those players are still here next year. It isn't like you spent all this money on the players and next season they're gone. I don't get this current modern day, everything's got to happen now or it's the end of the world. Well, every year, 19 teams ain't winning the Prem. Every year, only one team's win the Champions League. We can't have this you must thing. I get it for Arteta. I kind of get it more, but with Slot and Liverpool, I find it a bit weird. Find it a bit weird, if I'm being honest. But maybe it's just me being boring. I could just be being the boring one here, like, and not doing things.
Boring.
Boring.
You're boring.
Well, I mean,
you're boring, bro.
Old, as in sort of. Oh no, it's not fun when you do that, Terry. I used to think these things.
Giuseppe is boring. You're not boring.
What's Giuseppe done now?
What has he done now?
Giuseppe is very boring.
Sorry, I'm trying to book a flight while we're talking here, and I forgot.
Where are you going, mate?
Where am I going? Ireland.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, why is it not working? Come on. Take my payment. It's just weird. Ryanair's playing up. I need to get a flight book. I've got to do it. Let's do some of these super chats here while we're talking.
Terry Flowers flies Ryanair? Terry Flowers himself. You fly Ryanair?
Why would I not fly Ryanair or EasyJet?
I thought you'd be getting like a business class flight.
To Ireland, it's 40 minutes. Do you know what? I don't know, right? I'm not rich, so it's not that. But even if I was like a millionaire and I had a few £1 million in the bank, I don't think I'd spend £4,000 or £5,000 on a ticket when you could get like economy plus and have leg room. And
but if you were a millionaire, you would do it.
No, I think maybe once. Like again, it depends. Like I wouldn't. If I had like £2 million in the bank, every time I fly, I wouldn't be dropping like £5,000, £6,000, £7,000 on tickets. I'd just go with like economy plus with priority boarding. I wouldn't go that far. I just find I've done business class once and it was amazing, but I would never look at it and go, that was worth $7.
You get recognized in the airport.
If I had hundreds of millions of pounds, then I would, because the money can't run out. But I've seen, maybe it's my old job, I saw a lot of people that had money and thought they were super rich, spend like they were super rich and get bankrupt very quickly, if that makes sense.
Do you get recognized at the airport, to be honest?
Do I get recognized? Yeah, especially in Ireland. I get recognized. Yeah, a little bit.
Fair,
a little bit.
Fair.
The funniest, when I went to the States about 5 years ago, I was going through customs and the guy said, "Are you here for business or pleasure?" I said, "Seeing friends." I said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, definitely." He went, "Are you sure, Mr. Fleurs?" And I didn't click because he had my passport. I said, "Yeah, you're not here streaming, doing YouTube stuff." And I thought, was this? He went, "Yeah, I watched your show." And I was like, we had a laugh. He was before, because in America, customs are different in Europe. In Europe, anyone can just walk through customs. They don't really check anything. Where in the States, it's all really regimented. And I was like, oh, shit. He thinks I'm here to work. And I was like, no, I'm not here to work. He's, you sure? You're not streaming over here? And then I clocked and he laughed. But yeah, I get a little bit. I don't get recognized that much, to be fair. Not that much. But my flights are booked. They've gone through now, which is great. So I'm going over there next week. I didn't see the ownership. I don't see the ownership sacking Arteta.
I agree with this.
That could be true. That could be true. Liverpool won 2 EPLs in 3 decades. They are not serial Premier League winners. This is not the 80s or the 90s. They didn't win
That's just dumb logic, bro.
They won't win back to back.
Because Heskey couldn't win the league title 20 years ago. It doesn't matter that. Doesn't mean that Isak can't win it 20 years later.
No, but I agree with that. It's like when people say, "Oh, Arsenal can't win the Champions League because they've never won it in their history." I find that logic
a lot of crap.
Flawed. I find it flawed. The thing is, Arsenal were more likely. If you look at the modern day Champions League, where more teams have been in it, you don't need to be champions of your country. So look at the last 35 years. More teams have won it for the first time, I think, than retained it. Only one team in Real Madrid retained the Champions League, I think, in that time. Maybe someone.
City are not a perennial.
Do you know what's astonishing? Me and Husam talk about this all the time. For 4 or 5 years, City never won the Champions League. They were favorites every year in the bookies and the pundits, and they never won it before. They never. People just take
crazy.
Arsenal never won it. They cannot be favorites.
Statistically speaking, Arsenal do have more of a chance of winning it than PSG, because if you go through probability, retaining it gives you a lesser chance than winning it for the first time. And that's what odds are often based on. It isn't based on somebody's football knowledge or their opinion. It's based on the likelihood of something happening again. For instance, I don't play the lottery, but in theory, you have the same people have the same amount of chance every week of winning it. Even if you've won the lottery, the next week, your chances of winning it are the same. But actually, on probability, it isn't. The likelihood of you winning it twice is double the odds of winning it once. And that's the stats on it. Mo, it might be lagging for them. That's true. A few people said it was lagging, so I take it back. We take it back. Sorry. This here from Mr. Tybox. Thank you for the donation. He says, I said it last year. Liverpool are not very good at all. They won the league last year because of us, and City were crap, mainly because of injury. This year, Liverpool 3rd or 4th. Happy to take away a wager on it.
Well, I don't bet. But that would have been the easiest money.
Can I ask you a question on this, Sam, though? Let's ask you a question. Say you did come 4th, or say you came 5th, 4th or 5th, but you were nowhere near a title race. Do you think the claims that last year you won because City and Arsenal were crap, would that hold more validity after dropping 418 million and then dropping backwards?
No, I don't undermine any league winners. I think everyone who wins the league deserves it. I don't undermine them. Like we got, by the way, we had a whole league title robbed off of us because of our Rodri handball. People still say City won 7 and 9. So this is 6 and 8. It doesn't matter.
Terry, if Liverpool finished 10th, they still deserved the league last season because they were the best team in the league last season. They are not the best team. They might not be the best team this season, but they were the best team last season.
Terry, here, I gave you 15 minutes more because of the Scholes argument. See?
No
I'm
way.
a man of my word. See? Now I have to go.
I get it. Zidane says Scholes was his favorite player. Facts, he did. On that debate, like as I just say, it's just I just don't care about player awards. But I did think what Gerrard said yesterday was very interesting, that he thinks Scholes is one of only a few midfielders from their era that could also deliver and perform at this level. But yeah, player awards, I've never cared about them. Premier League last season. Do you know when it was, Mo? Just very quickly, because I know you're not going to try and drag me for it. When I stopped caring about them was in 1999. Man United won the treble, and Scholes that year out of this world. Beckham ended up coming second in the Ballon d'Or votings, but the Premier League Player of the Year
was that Liverpool, and was that Rivaldo won the?
I think Rivaldo won it, but this is why they mean nothing to me. How can Beckham be the second best player in the world but not win Premier League Player of the Year?
I hear that, but also the individual awards means that you are. But I was next time. I want to present this to Husam. He's not here to respond. If you are the best player in a team that is not great, is that better or being one of the best in a very good team that win title? Which one would you rather be?
Yeah, I mean, look, people are often. Again,
I just thought about it when you said that Beckham and Scholes.
So I'll give you an example. Paul Scholes, and one of the things that Sam lied about once in the group chat about Scholes is that people only started writing nice things about Scholes after he retired. But as I put in the group chat at the time, was an article from 1999 in the summer that described him as the most important and important part of winning that treble. And one thing with Scholes, even unlike Giggs had a few years where he was a little bit off the boil. Scholes was just consistently brilliant for us. Not the problem, but he wasn't our poster boy. And my general view when it comes to football, when you get a team that's got 4, 5, 6 stars in it and top quality players, there's only ever 2 or 3 that ever become the poster boys, that ever get the recognition, and it's taken up by certain personalities. And Mo Salah was partly an example to this. He wasn't the guy their fans were all raving about in those first 2 or 3 years, and I already think that if they would have put him as the poster boy day one, Mo Salah, he'd already be crowned the GOAT of the Premier League by now. But the campaign to make him the GOAT only started 2 or 3 years ago. And that all being said, the whole thing is a popularity contest. Some footballers that we remember, like the phrase, the streets don't forget, that's just because some players are like more regarded at like fan level, street level, than players that are twice, 3 times, 4 times as good as them. Michael Carrick doesn't get the respect of the midfielder that other players get. Not because he wasn't better than them. It's just that he was part of the Man United machine. He was never our superstar in that regard. So I've just never, and maybe it's because my team was so good and had so many stars that I just didn't take the one that was getting the praise the most. I didn't take it too seriously. Maybe other clubs that were struggling in that era, that had 1 star who was getting, that was their Premier League, was seeing their player get the player awards. So they hold player awards to a much higher standard. That's just truth. Like you've seen, how many times have you seen Spurs fans go on about goal scoring records because Kane's got them? Now, I know City fans love the goal scoring records that Haaland's got, but the first things that City fans will speak to you about with Haaland is what he's helped them win. Not, yeah, but he got that award and he got this and he got that. That's kind of secondary. So for me, it was never about any of that. And again, I have my 4 pillars: ability, consistency, output for your said position. Like a defender's not going to have the same output as a striker. And then it's the influence you had on winning major trophies. And one thing I never do with Gerrard either, I never slag Gerrard off. I never say he wasn't brilliant. I never play down how great he was. I don't have to. I wouldn't disrespect football in that way. But the way Scholes gets spoken about, listen, and I reckon you could stand outside Old Trafford, and I'm talking proper football fans, not day trippers, proper football fans, and ask them who is better, Scholes or Beckham. I think you'll get 70% say Scholes.
I think 90% will tell you, with all due respect to everyone. And I listen, I'm old enough to watch Man United, especially from like the late 90s. Paul Scholes is a better. I think Paul Scholes is more effective for Man United than David Beckham, especially because the career of Paul Scholes that continued within the 2000s is actually helped Man United get the rebuild back and win trophies. I gotta be honest.
I hear someone in one of my other group chats yesterday said how they thought that Beckham was better than Giggs, and I said, look, Beckham, we are nitpicking here amongst the greats. I said, but the one thing for Giggs that stands out for me is at 34 years old, he became a central midfield player in the Prem and was brilliant. Now, for me, that in some regards, that makes me respect Giggs as a footballer more than when he was the best winger in the world. Because how many wingers that were all about speed and skill and pace have become leading central midfielders at the biggest teams in the world, winning the biggest trophies in the world in that position? How many, like someone tell me how many wingers have done that? The only way you can do it is by being an amazing football player. Even as good as I think Scholes is, Scholes couldn't have become a winger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying,
it's just one of these things. I just look at it and think to myself, to be able to do what Giggs did, it just doesn't get. But this is where Man United fans, we did the same thing. When Giggs was in his pomp, Beckham was the poster boy. We then had Rudy and Ronaldo. They were the poster boys. So they get all the hype and the noise and the adulations. And it isn't that we didn't respect them. It's just you can't. It's like a band. You get a boy band. There's always one guy in the boy band who gets more attention than the rest, and it's not always the most talented one. It's sometimes the one who's a bit naughty, who's a little cheeky, who has a relationship with certain women. It's not always about the most talented person, and I just think we get. That's why when it comes to football, I separate the fame from the actual football. If you're going to talk about, we're going to include the fame, then Beckham probably eludes most footballers barring Messi and Ronaldo.
But I got to ask a question to end this, because who do you think have a bigger legacy in the Premier as an English player? Steven Gerrard or Paul Scholes? 20 years from now, Terry, or 10 years from now, when we are 50s, both of us, or even Husam is going to be 40s, and other fans as well around the world, and we ask about the era of the 90s and the 2000s and early 2010s, Who do you think? And I want people in the chat to answer this honestly.
So I'll answer it
Who do you
honestly
think-
for you.
Who do you
I'll
think
answer
will
it
have a bigger, and including the star boy, the all the
So if
the
we're
poster
including the
boys and all
fame,
the
okay, I'll
everything.
answer it. If we're including the fame, for me, it's going to be Paul Scholes. Okay, for me personally,
Really?
it's. Hang on, I'll finish. It's not a full answer. I'll finish. For me, it's Paul Scholes. If we're including the fame in it, I think the general public would go down the line of Gerrard because he had much better PR. And I'm not saying he's a PR merchant, and I'm not saying that he it was overrated, but he had much better PR. He was out there. He was a celebrity as much as he was a football player. So what happens when you're a celebrity over a football player is that you're more memorable to people. I think Scholes would be recognized by the average Joe in the street more so maybe than Paul Scholes. The same as Beckham will be recognized in 20, 30 years 10 times more than Gerrard because his fame and his PR was so much better. So if you factor that into legacy, like how recognizable somebody is on the eye, just someone, you show them a picture and they say, who's that? Then you're probably going to see Gerrard ahead of Paul Scholes. But is that how we should be judging? And my question back would be, should that be how we judge footballing legacy based on how recognizable and how famous you are, when not every reason that people remember you is even good? There are some people that are really infamous as football players. Does that make their legacy better? I don't know. On a footballing level only, it's Paul Scholes. You don't win 11 Premier Leagues, 2 Champions Leagues, a treble. You don't do all of that and not be right up there. But I think for the average Joe, the casual fan that cares about the fame and the fortune and the player awards, you might find it's Gerrard. I just disagree with viewing football in that way. So I'm very open about it. You know, the same as there probably isn't, barring Mo Salah right now globally. And even then, no, David Beckham is still a bigger star than most Premier League players are today. He is. But does that mean he's better than all of them? No. And that's why you've got to be careful. You might find some Liverpool fans go, oh, I'm going to run with that because, the stardom. Well, then that means none of your players are as big as Ronaldo or Beckham.
I got a very big pushback on this. Man United, because you remember, I'm not English. I wasn't in England. I was in Saudi Arabia. And then I moved to Egypt. Man United were viewed way more on TV than Liverpool. Way more. So if Scholes so it's not about the PR for Gerrard. It's about the memorable moments and stuff for Gerrard. Scholes have memorable moments. I was in Saudi Arabia 10 years old in 94. And everything on TV about the Premier League was Man United. Sharp. You remember that program that used to come, Man United, the goals of the week and all this stuff. It was all Man United. And then I went to Egypt and it was just highlights. That's why I couldn't watch the Premier League. It was highlights. It was all Manchester United. Manchester United. I
don't disagree with that. Now, we're of a different generation. Plus, you're a diehard football fan. As I've said, if it's about football fans, diehard football fans, they're gonna say Paul Scholes. There'll be some that will say Gerrard, but the most will say Paul Scholes because of the reasons you gave. But I'm talking about your average Joe that cares about the celebrity. They will often, that's just why, if you show the average thing of, if you would have gone around in the year 2000 and gone, who's better, and shown a picture of R9 and a picture of David Beckham, the average Joe would have picked Beckham because he was more famous. Because he was married to a pop star. And that's why the fame, the player awards, the accolades you get mean a lot less to me than what you did as a football player, because I've seen this my whole life. Let's finish these super chats off here. I don't want to disrespect the viewers. This here says, I don't think Liverpool's defending is better than Arsenal's, and this is where Liverpool would lose the league. I think that's a really fair point. Zane here says that Giggs, Scholes and Keane were better than Beckham, but all brilliant.
I actually agree with this.
Sam, cry in October, cry in May is what AMT says here. Zane's also back with us and says Liverpool favorite 52% and Arsenal 48%. But if City start to gel, they are in touching distance in January. The scenario changes as the Sharks will eat up. Good point. How many hours of driving to drive to Ireland? If you include the ferry, you're probably looking at about, from my house, probably about 5 to get to Wales, get on the boat and get across, about 5 hours. Ballon d'Or was a joke since Nedved won it over Henry. Made no sense. But this is my point. I can go back that far and remember people saying it was a joke. So this is my view. It's nothing to do with the modern day game. It's nothing to do with it. I can remember people saying it was a joke. So therefore, every year of my life listening to people, the news, the media, TalkSport, friends, family, complained about how it was wrong. How can I then use something that every year has parts or all of it called wrong and fraudulent? How can I use that as a pillar to assess a player from? You can't pick and choose what years it was good and what years it was bad. It's either the truth or it's wrong. I don't think it can be in between, personally. Because what about the year? What if the year that is fraudulent was the year that your guy should have got nominated or got more votes or won it, but they missed out? It then throws. Well, he didn't win one. Well, he should have won one, but my guy did. But it was fraudulent that 1 year. That makes it can't be. It's too inconsistent for me personally. Sam, how does it feel? I've already done that one there. Of course, Sam. What was Salah doing at 18 to 25? He's playing very well in Europe. Can someone find Carragher for me? The guy's gone quiet. Yeah, he's he tried. He's been a weird guy, Carragher, recently. Sam curses PSG for not winning one game against Chelsea, but the Liverpool discovery is not that easy anymore at home of the world champions. Thank you, JC. Terry, what do you think about Arsenal's new home? Or you mean extending
How
the
long
stadium?
are they going to play in Wembley?
I haven't read stories about it. I've seen some pictures of what it might look like, and it makes sense to do it because Spurs are now earning more money because their stadium. United are going to get a new stadium. Liverpool are getting more revenue. You've got to increase it. And
I think it's completely wrong. This is not now, right? It's not during the season.
What do you mean?
This is not this season. This is not.
No, it's not started yet. No, I don't think it's. I need to read the story, but it hasn't started.
Because
yet.
if they do it this season, they're the most idiotic team in the world. Like, gotta wait until the season ends.
Yeah. How did Haaland not win the Ballon d'Or again?
Yeah, that was kind of fraudulent, D King. That was, bro. The guy scored fucking 50 goals, bro, and then he helped his team win a treble. He was one of the main culprits to win a treble, and then he doesn't win Ballon d'Or. Oh, that's fucking fraudulent.
Getting spicy. Hussam takes Tell in a fight unless Tell picks up Mo and uses him as a weapon. If me and Mo wrestled, if me and Hussam had a wrestling match, he'd beat me. If we had a toe-to-toe fight, I'd spark him out. With me and him have had that conversation privately, and we both agree. So if it's kickboxing, I win. If it's wrestling, he wins. MMA, it's whether he can get me down, keep me down. Hussam, you're a bullshitter. I was in your Ballon d'Or stream and you said VVD being that low on the list was ridiculous. Well, there we go. This is what I mean with my debates with Hussam. He'll call the voting in that same very thing that he holds in high regard ridiculous. Like I've already said, the whole thing's fucking ridiculous. Arsenal were bantered for not winning back-to-back Premier Leagues. Yes, they were. Rafinha was better than Yamal and had no PR. Well, yeah, all the Barcelona PR went to one player. And that's what makes it hard. Gerrard better heads and shoulders above Scholes. Again, I don't think heads and shoulders. I think it's okay to say he's better. I think heads and shoulders is an exaggeration. That's like saying Caicedo's heads and shoulders above Declan Rice. He might be better, but he definitely ain't heads and shoulders. Check Radcliffe's quotes on Amorim just dropped. I'll go and have a look in a minute, mate. Thank you. And Paul Scholes is like Xavi and Iniesta, overshadowed by Messi, Neymar, and Ronaldinho. Good points being raised there. Look, I want to thank each and every single person who has tuned in. If you're watching over on X, get yourself across to YouTube now. Come and leave us your comments and tell us what you thought of that stream. This is going to redirect you as well to Hussam's channel as he is live now. So go and support my brother over there. Ronin says, I believe it, by the way, a squat double what? I squat double what Hussam squats. Yeah, Sam's a big lad. He's a big lad. We're probably not even in the same weight category as well if we're both in shape anyway, to be fair. But there we go. Listen, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Go and support Hussam on his channel now, please, people. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.